Beautiful. Wonderful. People coming in from all over Europe and Africa. They're going to be in the hundreds. Beautiful. Almost 200 people. Welcome, everybody. Once again, thank you for the UK people for waking up a little bit earlier. So let us know where you're from in the chat. Who do we have? Who do we have? I mean, people saying everywhere. Let me know. Quite a few South Africans. Cape Town, of course. From many people from around South Africa. Come on, there's got to be where you got no Nigerians. We should have quite a few people from Africa. There we go. 3 a.m. in New York. Sean Doyle. Wow, Sean, you deserve a medal. Thank you. People, yeah, so I can just see they're coming in by the millions here as we get going. Just some housekeeping. The notes, Cherie's going to be posting it in the chat. She'll post it regularly so that when new people come in, you can quickly get access to the live notes page. So you guys should right now have access to two very important documents. Number one is the agenda, right? And number two is the live notes page. I'm going to keep posting the agenda. Cherie and I will keep posting it in for new people. It was in the email that was sent to you. If you scroll down to the agenda, at the bottom of the agenda, you will see the link for the live notes. Just guys, that just keeps coming and I'm submitting like continuously here. Need a button that auto admits. Do you have one? Probably not because of all Zoom's new security crazy stuff. We got Botswana, just checking out some of these people here from all over. Milton Keynes, yay. Been there, spent quite a lot of time there. India, woohoo. UK, Philippines. L, thank you. All that way. So yesterday we did the Australia one, which was a great success. We did Australasia, Australia and Asia. And before that, the day before, we did America. This one's the biggest though. This is by far the biggest. So congratulations. Nakedi's got a quick question before we get going. I will be starting in about a minute, just whether or not people are in. Nakedi, you've got a quick question. Unmute yourself and ask away. No, Nakedi, you've got your hand up. No, not happening. So for those new people coming in, welcome from all over Europe and Africa and from around the world. I'm Scott Cundill, your host, and I'm really looking forward to rocking your world today and doing something you haven't seen before. And yeah, picking you up and shaking you to do something different and make it all happen. Let's quickly get these new people in. Cherie's also allowing people in. Please, if you guys have a question, frame it in the chat with question, capital Q or capital question in capitals. And then we will make sure that that goes onto the live notes page. All right, so there's the link. I've just pasted it in for the agenda. So you guys can follow the agenda. And at the bottom of the agenda, you will see a link to the Europe and Africa time zone for live notes. And I'm going to give you that live notes one in the chat now as well. Okay, we've stormed past the 200 mark for people coming in. Hi, Scott. I hope my team that I accumulated all on board. Thanks, Charlene. I'm sure they are. Everybody's saying welcome. Here we go. Live notes for those people who are coming in. Live notes. Right, guys. So we will just let people come in and I will slowly repeat myself down the line, but I just really want to get started and go through specifically, why the hell did you come here today? Why on earth would you beautiful, amazing people want to spend the next couple of hours with me? And some of you even gave up in South Africa, what little battery life on your laptop you have, you gave it up for me. Because as you guys know from around the world or might not know, South Africa has power outages quite regularly and they shut down the entire power in various areas of the country. Yes, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come in the future for other parts of the world. So please just understand that there's quite a few people around that in South Africa that can only be here for an hour or two because that's how long their battery lasts for. So thanks, guys. We love you. We love you, love you, love you. Why are you here? That is the ultimate question. What is the point? What's the point of all of this, actually? In fact, you know, what's really, why? So the point of coming up to this today, guys, and the real reason that we're here is we are looking to allow you guys to create a separate new database, for want of a better term, outside of your current LinkedIn contacts. So most of you already have a LinkedIn profile of some sorts. Doesn't have to be very good. Doesn't have to have a lot of people in it. But those of you that know LinkedIn will know that you have all of these LinkedIn connections. They're sitting there and very little happens to it. comes from it. There's very little business comes from it, and pretty much just, yeah, it's just pretty bloody useless actually in most of the cases. Now, the thing about LinkedIn is it is quite useless. And I know that sounds quite horrible to say about LinkedIn, but probably about 80 to 90% of LinkedIn is pretty useless. There's just these glimmers of beautiful, amazing opportunities for your business or for your sales that can really help you grow them. And that's what we want to get through today. You've got all this mishmash, higgledy-piggledy stuff going on LinkedIn. What we need to do is create this beautiful, amazing business generating area of your LinkedIn profile. And to do that, we need to learn some of the art and the science. And some of you guys are more artistic and some of you guys are more scientific. I need to bring you bastards together, as we say in Australia. Bring your big, beautiful bastards together and bring those left and right hemispheres of the brain and bring them together and make it all happen. And that allows us to create a process. Okay, so for all you new, big, beautiful bastards coming in from all around, for those of you who just joined us, please follow us. Cherie will be posting links in the chat. Please follow us with the live notes that I'm going to be taking right now, and frame all questions you have, please, with a capital question or capital Q, so it breaks through the chat clutter, so to speak. Alrighty. So this is what we're here to do, guys. Create this big, beautiful, well, not necessarily big, but high quality area of your crazy LinkedIn profile and have these really amazing messages. And most importantly, show that you as a personal individual are a highly credible, respected person within the group of people that you want to do business with. Okay, so that's really what we're trying to do here today. You're going to know who they are, you're going to measure them and learn how to message them in an amazing way. So let's just quickly go. I'm running our share screens. So this is the workshop agenda. You guys can follow it if you want. Okay, here's the agenda which we're going to go through. And here is the live notes. So you guys can have that open for your live notes, Africa and Europe and Africa time zone. So I'm going to be typing. So why are we here? To create an epic separate section / database of your LinkedIn connections that know, like, and trust you, seeing you as a credible industry expert. I'm going to ask you guys a question now. What would you rather be? What would you guys seriously rather have? Would you rather have one post on LinkedIn that took you an hour or two to write, right? That's got like 18 shares and however many likes. And half of those shares was like your sister-in-law and your best mate, and they didn't even read the post. They just shared it because they feel sorry for you. And, you know, you get a little pat in the back by a few people. This is one of the frustrations with LinkedIn. We make all these posts, but where are they going? What are we getting out of them? So what I'm trying to show you today is not to replace that kind of thinking. You can still post on LinkedIn. You can still create your little, your little LinkedIn empire. This is one, for me, critical piece of the LinkedIn puzzle. It's those LinkedIn contacts that you want to do business with, and they see you as a credible person. And most importantly, you're measuring and organized in the way that you treat them. So you know who they are. You know their names, their contact details, everything. This is the goal. And these beautifully crafted messages that get to the heart of their pain. That's the key, their pain. So you're going to see me coming and going. Guys, I'm going to ask you to please mute live, giving you people power. Mute. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to quickly get the mute everyone button.
You muted yourself as well, Scott.
You guys have the power of the mute and the unmute in your hands. Please use it wisely. Please use it wisely. Thank you, because I want participation, guys. I love having participation. So going back to who are we and why are we here? So here's the live notes that I'll be taking as we go along. Now, there's an important diagram that I want to show you guys. On the madge3.com profile, there are some really, really good resources. One of them has a diagram that looks like this. It's called the sales conversion gap. This is the problem we have at the moment. You have what's called a sales conversion gap. Now you have prospecting, which is when you're going out there and you're looking for sales. This, believe it or not, is really, really easy. And by the end of today, we're going to build a machine that will allow you to actually do that. You will have a machine that's going to do most of that prospecting for you and start to work within this, what we call the sales conversion gap. Then you have closing, which is what you guys love to do. We all love it. We want to sit in what we call the comfy chair. For those Monty Python lovers, you'll remember the comfy chair. The comfy chair is when you're sitting and you're relaxed with the prospect and you're getting to know them and they're asking you questions and you're giving them answers and you're helping them with their pain. And that becomes a sale. That is where you all love to be. I love to be in that position. The thing is, how do you get them into the comfy chair and get them closing? This is the problem. They are stuck in something called the sales conversion gap. This is the gap right here. It is the gap between the prospecting and the closing. This is where your money is. This is where the cash is. This is where your business lies. It's in the sales conversion gap. But you and only you can pull them out of the gap. And you do that through messaging and you do that through diligence and follow-up. Do you know who the greatest salespeople are in the world? The greatest salespeople are not charismatic. They are diligent. School teachers, accountants, librarians, believe it or not, they make the best salespeople. Because if you ask an accountant to say, okay, I need you to do 30 invitations on LinkedIn 3 days a week. They're not going to do 29 on Monday and 31 on a Wednesday. They're going to do 30 every single day. And if you tell them to do this many follow-ups on this many days and make this many phone calls, they will do exactly that process and they will do it diligently and they'll do it consistently. If you do it that consistently, like an accountant, then you will become a great salesperson. And here's the thing, you do not talk about your product or service. Your goal is to build trust and credibility for your own personal, amazing, awesome, incredible, majestic, magnificent self. That's your goal here, guys. You're not going to talk about your product or service. We're going to come up with a series of messaging to these people that you're going to reach out to on LinkedIn or your first degree. And we're going to help them get into the sales conversion gap. Get them into the sales conversion gap, then get them out of the sales conversion gap into a meeting, sales call, etc. All right, this is what we're trying to do. So does this make sense? Feel free to pop things in the chat. If I don't be able, there's a lot of chitty going in, which is great. Feel free to post. And then, as I said to you guys, please frame any questions you have with a capital Q or a question. For those of you that have just joined us, I'm pasting the link to these live notes onto the chat so you guys can follow. And if you guys are a bit late, then you can follow up and catch up on the notes. Or if you have to go pee or do any of those things, you can catch up with the notes as we go along. All right. So does this make sense, guys? Do you see what we're trying to do here? This is where things get interesting. So I'm going to be jumping around the agenda a little bit, but I want to tackle these 3 burning questions and finish them. Why do I have all these LinkedIn connections, but so little business comes from them? Why aren't people responding to my messages? It's so sad. No one's responding to me. It's demoralizing, right? Actually not. And I'm going to explain those just now. And is anyone reading my post? Should I even bother? right? Why do I do these posts? What's the point? These are 3 burning questions we need to answer. And now I'm going to take us on a little bit of a tangent to set the scene, if you will. Picture this many, many years ago. Let me quickly actually go to Google. Please mute your microphone, guys. So guys, quickly meet those people there. Right. I'm going to take a little tangent now, and I'm going to introduce you to my son. This is my son, Cam, and I'm going to make a very proud dad statement or two during this next 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm going to go through it very quickly. Cam and I represented our country at Kung Fu, and we were at the World Championships in China, the biggest martial arts tournament of the world. We used to train 6 days a week, and if you want to have a look, this is actually our teacher. That's actually our teacher, Liu Shuameng. He couldn't speak a word of English when he arrived from China, and I was his very, very first student. 6 or 7 years later, Cam and I went to the World Championships in China and represented our country in Shaolin Kung Fu. Now, there's some incredible lessons that we learned from this, and I'm going to relate them back, and I'm going to show you how we actually used the power of understanding martial arts and actually using that within the way that we frame our relationship building outreach through a communication and LinkedIn. It was set that the World Champs is the biggest martial arts tournament in the world. It was this particular year, they decided not to do it in a stadium. They did it in the mountains in China, and that is a 99-meter high golden Buddha nestled in the mountains of China. There's Cam. Cam was in the 13 to 17 category age group. The other boys around him were much bigger, and he was literally just old enough to make the older age group. And there he is lining up, getting ready for his event. And there's Cam getting his silver medal. Cam and I both won medals. Cam got silver, I got bronze. And it was just the most incredible experience. We got to meet all these different people from all these other countries. And we reached quite a high level of martial arts. And we got to be pretty good at it, thanks to an amazing teacher. And I went on TV a few times to talk about Kung Fu principles and how they can boost business. There are some incredible things that you can learn about Kung Fu. And I'm going to just pause it there for a second, go back. Now, one of the things about you learn from Kung Fu is something called Fajing power. Any martial artists here might know about what Fajing power is. It's an explosive type of energy that you create within Kung Fu. So if you want to, here, it's going to sound nuts, right? But if you ask a martial artist, if you're going to punch, right? If you want to punch, you actually don't use your arm. It looks like your arm's moving, but you're not actually using your arm to punch. You're using your body, and the power comes from just below your belly button, and your whole body builds up like a wave of energy, and it ripples out. So you're actually using your body inside and outside to punch or to break just get that power that you need to break a board. Now, I asked my teacher, this is such a great little lesson. I asked my teacher, I said to him, where does this power come from? Where do you get it from? And he said, the movement creates the power. The movement creates the power. Cherie, will you mind adding that line to the notes for me while I'm on a roll here? The movement creates the power. In other words, you've got to go. And as you move and move, the power gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And he used an analogy. And the analogy was a waterfall. If you look at a waterfall from the top, and as the water goes down to the bottom, you know, when you move your eyes at the same time as the water, if you time your eyes right, and you're watching the water as it falls down the waterfall, when you look at a few drops of water as they're falling, the waterfall can be 100 meters high. And as your eyes follow them, even if it's 50 meters down halfway, the water looks tranquil, calm. It's not tense. It doesn't change. In terms, it's building, in other words, it's building momentum. And at the bottom, it makes a big splash. That's the analogy I want to use. The waterfall effect is the analogy I want to work with you guys on understanding your messaging. Think of the messaging and the relationship building process like a waterfall. Your goal is to make a splash at the bottom with a group of people. And remember, do you want to rather have a bunch of posts with some likes and some pats on the back saying, yeah, nice post, mate, no business coming out of it? Or would you rather like to be seen in your industry or to your target audience, 50 people, 100 people, that's all? Would you like to be seen as trusted, credible? And those are the people they're going to do business with and refer you. Obviously, it's the second one. But to do that, we've got to use the waterfall effect. So we're going to create this waterfall effect, and then we're going to build a process within LinkedIn that allows you to keep being diligent, like a librarian, diligent. And eventually that keeps going down, and then you make a splash, and that's where your business comes from. And you don't spam, you don't harass people. You do it gently, and you do it scientifically, and you also do it artfully. Making sense, guys? Anything to share on that? You guys happy? I see there's quite a bit going through here on LinkedIn, on the chat. Beautiful to see people all over the world, hey, joining us here today.
So Scotty, I just wanted to say something to tie that in, and why I love your analogy about the waterfall is while you're looking at that peaceful, beautiful waterfall, it looks serene and calm. It doesn't look like much is happening. Yet so much is happening in the back end to actually get to that splash. And I know, Scott, you're going to get to that splash and explain how it ties in when people are frustrated and they're reaching out and they're not getting any responses. Need to tie it back to looking at that waterfall and just know there's a lot of stuff happening in the back end, but that gentleness of the waterfall flowing down, and eventually it will splash. So I just wanted to make sure people get that, because it is so important to understand it. I know when I'm writing messages and I'm reaching out to people and I feel like no one's listening, no one's watching. They are, trust me, they are.
And that's the important thing. People think they're not reading your messages. They don't care. They actually do, as long as you're not spamming. If it's gentle and it's done nicely, which we're going to show you today, it really, really makes a difference. So to go back to the questions and relate them to Kung Fu now, why do I have all these LinkedIn contacts? Because so little business comes from them. Is because the water's at the top of the waterfall. You haven't started building the momentum with them yet. I doubt any of you who are married or have partners who are listening to this right now, I doubt any of you, right, got married on the first date. Probably unlikely. So the waterfall effect works naturally in relationships all the time. So why don't you get business from them? It's because your messaging is not coherent like a waterfall. You might be doing a post here and a bit here and a message here. We need to be coherent. And that's going to come up with something we call a captivating one-liner, which I'm going to get to in a minute. This is the secret, and it's around their pain, not your product. And I hate the way I have to keep repeating this, but it happens all the time. It's not about your product or service. Don't talk about your product or service. You talk about their pain. Okay, so that's why you're not so little business. And we're gonna find a solution to that in the workshop today. Why aren't people responding to your messages? Well, you haven't made a splash yet. The water is still building momentum. It looks like it's not building momentum, but it is. If you're sending insightful quality stuff in a coherent way, one-on-one using LinkedIn Direct Messenger, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, and you're building that relationship, and or email and a bunch of other messaging, you can, as long as it's a one-on-one, can be a LinkedIn message, it can be a phone call, etc. If you follow that diligent path and you focus on helping them with their pain, that is where you're going to get into the comfy chair and get them out of that sales conversion gap and into the closing environment. And the bad news is it can take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Just like your marriage doesn't take time. It takes time, doesn't happen overnight. And finally, is anyone reading my post? Should I even bother? Absolutely, if you feel you have time. Without a doubt, posts can work really well. You can build your LinkedIn profile. Go for it, not a problem. However, my suggestion is you never spend time on LinkedIn at the expense of building relationships with high quality people. Okay, high quality people. Here's a phrase, I'm going to put this in the notes now. Okay, never put crap into the app. What does that mean? It means you don't work with people that are not going to generate business for you. That's so important, guys. It's so important. Don't work with people who are not going to generate business, that are not going to turn into something epic. Now, to finish my story of the Kung Fu. So Cam, my son, is now 20. He's just turned 21. So he was 13. My gosh, it's been 8 years already. Time flies when we're having fun. Oh man, sure. Time really does go quickly. I know you ladies all know how quickly time flies, doesn't it? When your husband tries to wake you up 15 minutes before the alarm goes off and you go, oh my God, has it been 3 days already? After nudging you. We know what it's like, guys. Yes, I understand. Time flies very quickly. So yes, it has. So this is my boy, and he is now 21 years old, and his LinkedIn profile is one of the most powerful for lawyers already. He's studying law at the university in South Africa at the moment, and he's in 3rd year. Now, from the 1st year, the moment that he started, just before he started his 1st year, we started reaching out to lawyers on his LinkedIn profile diligently and continuously. We reached out to those lawyers and we built his LinkedIn profile to the point where it's epic. Now, take a look at his profile. Here, connections, 3,715 LinkedIn connections. Principal partner, senior partner, co-founders at Spencer West LLP. These are partners of law firms, guys, around the world. Partner at Beechcroft, partner at Attorney at Law, partner at Curzon Green Solicitors, partner International Arbitration, partner at Show Goddard, partner at Kennedy. Look at the quality, guys. Look at the quality. Partner, Sheridan's Law Firm. These are all his LinkedIn connections, and he's got almost 4,000 of them. Chair of International Human Rights Law. Look at that. And the message that we went out with him, and this is going to be your first important lesson on your messaging. Your first messaging is emotional, not rational. So for example, hi Jamoki, I'm currently loving my 3rd year BCom law, and I wish to pursue either animal, human, or environmental rights law, possibly even data privacy law. My dad says, your network is everything, son. So here I am. Thank you so much, Cam. And he's got a bunch of people responding to him. Great to be introduced. And this just came in now. Great to be introduced. I like your message and approach. I'm an employment lawyer. You see, it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Now, just imagine by the time he's finished his 5th year, and we're continuously building up his LinkedIn profile for him. Can you imagine what a start to his career that's going to be? Can you imagine having 8 to 10,000 lawyers on your LinkedIn profile as a young lawyer going to find a job? What an extraordinary investment to make. And it's 99% lawyers. There's a few other people in there, but that's basically what we did. So we started to build his LinkedIn profile slowly, but with waterfall, starting the early drops of the waterfall. And we built his LinkedIn profile and we started reaching out to lawyers and just got them connected for now. He does 3 things on his LinkedIn profile, which I call the big 3. And I talked about this for those of you who did your prep work, the big 3. Okay. A, fab photo. A, beautiful background. A brilliant bio. Those are the 3 things. I call them the big 3 on your LinkedIn profile. This is your bare minimum. A lot of people say my LinkedIn profile isn't that good. It's not that great. I need to spend time on it. And then you procrastinate getting your LinkedIn profile sorted out. And the problem with doing that is because you procrastinate getting your LinkedIn profile sorted out, you don't do anything else after that on LinkedIn. So at the very least, guys, do the big 3. Fabulous photo, beautiful background, and a brilliant bio. In Cam's bio, it's just studying law degree, something simple. A bio doesn't have to be pages and pages of intense, boring stuff. It just has to be something sharp and innovative, because you're looking to grow your LinkedIn audience. And to do that, they just need to show that you're a professional individual. That's the most important thing. Do you need to do posts? Do you need to make your profile better? It's worth spending a few minutes on it. Do a couple of posts, maybe do a post a month, a post every 2 weeks, just to show that you've got some traction on your LinkedIn profile. There's absolutely no problem with that at all. But please, 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 guys, I beg you, don't procrastinate. Don't wait until your LinkedIn profile is perfect to go and reach out to new people. All right, so that's Cam, and this is actually one of the services we offer. So full disclosure, people are saying to me, well, why is Scott doing this incredible, unbelievable, and handing out this information left, right, and center for free? I don't want to know what I need to know what I have to pay for. I don't want to pay about what's going on. So the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is as we go along, you can do all of this on your own, or I will introduce you to some of the services where we can do it for you. So everything I'm teaching you, you can do on your own, or you can get us to do it for you. So one of the things that we do is we can log into your profile like an accountant, like a librarian 3 times a week, and we can grow your LinkedIn profile for you so that it'll be ready for you like Cam for when you really want to take advantage of it and start using it. So that's one of the first services that we offer. Otherwise, you can do it yourself. And the machine we're going to build later is going to help you do that. In the meantime, does that make sense, guys? Do we have any questions in the chat? Sheree, do you see any questions in the chat that I need to answer now? Is there anything specific that I should look at?
Yeah, please take a look.
Questions, right, okay. Will there be a recording? We can go back and review, maybe, if you're nice to me. Yes, we will. We're going to choose the best recording from the 3 that we've done so far, and we will have it all up and running for you. Mainly for the poor South Africans who've only got 1 hour and a half on their laptop because of load shedding and power outages. So yes, the answer is yes. How do you convert your 2nd and 3rd degrees as well as those who follow you and not directly connected to you? Thank you for asking that question, whoever it was. Okay, we're going to show you how to make use of your 1st degree connections and what we call your 2nd degree and your 3rd degree connections. And I'll go back to this, especially for all those beautiful newcomers. Hey guys, we're almost full, almost 300 people. Oh, cool. Here's your goal. You have some 1st degree connections in your LinkedIn profile, which you're struggling to get business from. Painful, I know, right? But at least you've made a start. What you're looking to try and do is you're trying to create a separate group of people who are you want to convert into actual leads and in actual appointments and business. Now, in order to do that, we're going to show you how to frame that. Now, some of them could be 1st degree, which means you already linked a connection with them on LinkedIn. But others you might not have invited yet. We're going to show you how to use both. To begin with, we're going to reach out to new people, 2nd and 3rd degree. And that's what we're going to start doing in a few minutes. So we're going to start with new people. Then as we do the waterfall, the 2nd message, the 3rd message, the 4th message, that's where you're going to start to bring in your 1st degree, your 1st degree. They've already connected with you, and now you want to bring them and make them part of your waterfall. So hopefully that answers your question on that one. So yes, your 1st degree and your 2nd and 3rd degree, we're going to work with both of those, and we're going to show you how to do them. The presentation slides, we will put all those, we'll send you all those links, guys. Don't worry. Most of those should be in the chat already. So Cherie, just for the newcomers, just please paste the workshop agenda and the notes into the chat. How do you identify high quality connections? Oh, I'm going to get back to that over the course of this. I'm going to get back to over the course of this. I'm going to put that in bold. Great question. I'm not going to answer it now. It gets answered down the line. I feel lots of reaching out on LinkedIn makes me look desperate. A feeling as if I was good, I wouldn't need to do this. Ah, whoever wrote that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a question that everybody on this call right now will feel. It's this feeling that you're desperate. Watch now, guys. Watch the magic happen. I'm going to show you how to message people and remove all of that desperation. You do it by feeding content and positioning yourself as an industry expert. Amazing, guys. We've still got all these people coming in. It's great. It's great to see. We're almost full. Woohoo! Almost 300 people. So this, for those new people, please quickly join us. Cherie's posting it into the chat. Come and join us on the notes. You can follow through the notes where what you've possibly missed on. Right. You don't want to look desperate, and you don't need to look desperate. And we're going to show you how to do that by positioning yourself as an industry expert. And we're going to write the messages now. But before we do, here's the science. Right? Follow the science that we're told all the time. Follow the science. Right. Let's do a bit of science following. What I would like you guys to do now, please, is I would like you to do what I asked you to do in the homework. If you haven't done the homework, don't worry, or the prep work, don't worry. You should be able to answer this question really quickly. What I'd like you to do is post in the chat the following. I want you to tell me how many customers or clients you need in the next 12 months. Not to make you super rich, so don't put this crazy high number. The amount of clients, new clients that you need in 12 months or sales that you need to make in 12 months to make you happy and successful. Not driving Ferraris, etc. Don't worry, that comes later. First of all, what do you need to be successful? Paste it in, go. 10, 5, 50, 20, 30, 40, 12, 50, 10, 150, 10, 20, 15, 15, 44, 400, 10, 10, 25, 15, 30, 80. Look at these numbers popping through. 15, 20, 10, 10, 10, 72, 25, 4, 6, 10, 20, 12 to 15, 60, 10, 200. Why am I reading all these out? Because you're going to get a bit of, you can get a bit of a feel for the numbers. How interesting that most of you guys, almost everybody is between 10 and 50. Do you notice that? Between 10 and 50, there we are, 50, 50, 10, 20, 30, 60, 100, 120. Before I go into the numbers, if you have 100 or more, you want 100 or more clients, then you need help, not psychological help, actual real help from somebody who can help you get there. That means you need to create a referral network. You need a couple of people who can refer you. This, what we teach today, although I don't specifically mention referrals, the same technique can work to go out and get referrals and referral partners. So referral partners are a major part of the process. Now, what I would like you to do is multiply that number by 5 quickly that you just typed in.
Sorry, Scotty, I think I accidentally muted you because some people are coming. I had to mute them.
No worries, no problem, guys. Remember the power you have. You have the power of unmuting yourself. Please use it wisely. I love it when you guys get back to me with questions and things, and I love audience participation. But try to avoid the background noise if you can. All right, so multiply that number by 5. So see what you're doing here is you're taking the number of deals that you want to close in a year and you're multiplying it by 5. This number that you come up with when it's been multiplied by 5 is the number of high quality relationships you need to have in your pipeline, and you need to measure it and know who they are in order to hit those deals. If you don't know who they are right now, then you have a major problem, guys. If you don't know what that number is in the first place, how many deals you want to close, then you're even a bigger problem. That's why I'm glad you came. You need to know the numbers. It's a metric. It's a sales funnel. Put people in the top and they come down. The bottom of the sales funnel is what you've just, the bottom of the sales funnel is the number of deals you want to make. Just above the bottom of the sales funnel are those high quality relationships that you want to create in your pipeline. Now that is, can somebody please multiply by 5? Multiply that number by 5, put it in the chat quickly. Already now we're getting into the thousands, the 250s, the 500s, the 300s, 2,500 someone put. All right, 90, 500, 750, 300. Now you're starting to realize, hopefully, you need a pipeline of, let's just thumb suck and say between 150 and 300 high quality individuals that you're building relationships with. You have to have that. Now, the good news is you don't have to spend $100 million on Facebook advertising. Sorry, we're in Europe, euros and pounds. Facebook advertising to get them. We're going to build a machine that does it for you. But the first thing we want to do is we want to know, why the hell are we here? What are my targets? So what are your targets for the year, and times them by 5 equals your bottom of funnel sales requirements. Let's call them requirements. Okay, that means you need to have all those people ready, active, willing, and like literally like in your sales conversion gap that we talked about. So for those new people that are just coming in now, the sales conversion gap is the gap between prospecting and closing. This is where all your money is. There are people out there that know you, but they don't know you enough to give you a chance. They can afford what you have to buy because you've looked at their LinkedIn profile. The question was asked earlier, how do you identify these high quality questions, these high quality connections? The first thing you do is you look at their LinkedIn profiles. Okay, so you know from the data you've got after they've connected with you, whether they look like they're the right quality people first. So you've got the right quality people. So those are the people that you need to start forming a conversation with. Do you know how difficult it is to have 150 or to 300 conversations going at any one time? It's extremely difficult. And this is why people don't hit their targets, because they don't do the basic numbers on the bottom of their sales funnel. And it makes them realize, oh my goodness, I can't do this alone. I can't do it alone. I'm going to need assistance at some level. And this assistance could be somebody in your community. And I talk about what I call community marketing and community promotion. And we're building a system here. And what we're trying to do and expanding our business and forming a community around us is of people like you to be able to create a community, a small community around you, yourselves, that can help you and grow you by only spending 15 to 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. They can help use their LinkedIn profiles to help you grow your connections, because it's since COVID hit, and I'd like to know if anyone else has experienced this. We deal with literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses over the years. In fact, thousands of businesses over the years. Don't be fooled, guys, by these youthful good looks. Please, I'm 47 years old. My hips going, it's tragic. But the point is, I've been around for a while, and I have seen over the last 2 years, closure rates go from 7 out of 10 appointments, closes per 10 appointments made, to 2 to 3 out of 10 per 10 appointments. That's 10 comfy chairs where you're sitting with the client or on Zoom or wherever you are having these conversations. You're having an amazing conversation with them. It's going really well. You do your proposal, you chat to them. The deathly silence. You don't hear back from them. It's gone from 7 out of 10 to about 2 or 3 out of 10. That means as a business owner, you have to do 3 times as many meetings to get the same number of deals you did a couple of years ago. You don't have time for that. It becomes difficult because now you've got to prospect 3 times to 5 times harder to get the 3 times more appointments to get those same deals. It's a serious problem we're looking at in the industry. And what we're looking to do here is work with you guys to help you find a solution to that problem by helping each other and by getting people to assist you and forming a community around you. It can be your nephew, it could be your niece, it could be your partner, husband or wife. It could be virtual assistants that you hire. It could be your own team around you, salespeople in your own team. It could be people that work, other people that work in your organization. They all become part of your LinkedIn marketing strategy for your company using soft, gentle methods that doesn't hurt their LinkedIn profile, but helps the good of the whole organization. This is something I'm going to be talking more about in the second session. This is what we do. But first, we get it working for you. Once we get it working for you, then we can start to engage in what we call this community marketing. It's the best way of doing it, or team marketing effort. Now it starts to come alive. So you see what's starting to happen. You get your LinkedIn profile going, you've got your big 3, you're busy, so your profile looks nice, it's professional, and now you can start reaching out to people over a particular period of time. For those new people that are just joining us, there's still heaps of people coming in. Please catch us up on the notes that we're taking as we go along. So please just, Cherie will post the links into the chat for you so you can catch up and you can read the notes. All right, so I've talked to you guys about the big 3. Just get your profile looking good and professional. I've talked about the waterfall mindset, getting you to grips with this gentle nurturing process. And we're going to do that first message in a minute. I've started introducing a little bit to this concept of community marketing and advocacy, which is where you want to get to. So you've got a LinkedIn profile. You've got first degree connections. You've got new people we're going to invite to become first degree connections. Then we're going to take the best of those and put them into a new pipeline that you're going to nurture with really nice artistic messaging. You know how many you need to have in that sales pipeline now because you just done the numbers. So it should all start making sense now. And then I talk to you about something called the sales conversion gap. Okay, I'm going to bring the chicken and egg in later, right, in a minute. But first of all, how's that sounding, guys? Happy? Please post some messages in the chat. Is it making sense? Any other questions?
Yeah, there are quite a few questions.
That should be in the notes. All right. Can you tell us a recent graduate where I've been messaging some people? How do I get more leads so I can find a job? Okay, use the same process. So whether you're finding a job or you are looking to build a referral network or you are looking to get new customers for your business, the same process applies. Don't talk too much about yourself, how good you are. Fuck it, I'm going to do the, excuse the language, I'm going to do the chicken and the egg. All right. Because of this wonderful person asking this question, I'm going to do chicken and egg. Chicken and egg. So you guys are having a few analogies. You've had the waterfall analogy, kung fu, power, that kind of thing. Now here's another one for you. It's called the chicken and the egg. Your product and service is the cutest little baby chicken you've ever seen. The way your methodology, your product, your little gizmo, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, the way that you sell it, it's so wonderful and so perfect. And you studied and you built this wonderful product or service and you built your company and all you want to do is talk about it. Your business, your product, your service, your offering is like a baby chicken. You are in love with your little chicken. You stroke it and you touch it and it's got this little eyes and it goes me, 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 me. It's all cute and cuddly. You love your little baby chicken. Here's the problem. Nobody wants to buy your baby chicken from you. So what happens is you go into proposals with £50,000, £30,000, hundreds of £1,000s too quickly, and you don't get the deals. Now, this is going to help you with your messaging, because once you understand that if you lay an egg into the company, it starts to hatch into your product or service. It's much better. So you've got your cute little, it's like watching somebody else's wedding photographs and wedding videos for hour and hour. No one wants to hear you brag on and talk about the way your product or service works. They don't care. Especially when you reach out to people on LinkedIn. They don't care about your product or service. They don't care about your acronym that you use for your consulting thing. And I use the PASTA, which is the P is for perfection and A is for animalistic and whatever. Everybody's got their own methodologies. Everybody's got their own physical. If you're selling a physical, tangible product or a software product, people talk and talk and talk and talk about their product. Me, 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 like a baby chicken. Me, 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 me. They don't care. You can't talk about that. So what you've got to do is you can't be thinking, I need to sell my product or service to this customer. You've got to change your mindset thinking, and this is reflected in your messages. You've got to change your mindset and you've got to think, how do I lay an egg into that organization? I've just solved the riddle. The egg comes first. First comes the egg, then the egg hatches, and then the client goes, wow, this little baby chicken has been co-created by us. They feel ownership of the chicken. Because if it's your baby chicken, they don't want it. They don't want to feed it. They don't want to take responsibility for it. What happens if the chicken dies and doesn't work? Who takes accountability for it? They don't want that. It's your chicken. But when you lay an egg into their organization and the egg hatches, they are now co-parenting and they feel like they own the product or service. And that's where you get the buy-in. So your goal is to lay an egg into the organization. The egg is a simple, no-brainer option that you can offer those people. Let me quickly put that down in the notes while I talk here. Okay. The chicken is me, 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 me. Your product or service. Nobody wants your chicken. Offer them an egg. A no-brainer introduction to your business so you can build a relationship with their team or their owners or their decision makers. How this can translate would be, for example, a workshop. And this is something that I do all the time. Every single client that I bring on board, I do a 90-minute captivating one-liner workshop with to nail that one line. There are 12 to 15 seconds to break through the clutter on LinkedIn. That's all you have. You've got to come up with this captivating one-liner. So that's what I do. We say, before you guys get involved, we do a captivating one-liner section. We charge for it, right? You guys can charge for your egg, but it's got to be a very small no-brainer amount. Now you get into the organization, and that's when you can start to build relationships, get to know them, give them a finite, tangible offer that's useful for them. They don't have to get it approved by the finance department because the amount is low. So they can make a split-second decision, right? Let's just do this. I'm willing to take a chance on you. Build the relationship. On LinkedIn, etc., because not just LinkedIn. So they are prepared to take a chance on you. Then you can help you get them out of that sales conversion gap that I talked about earlier. Is this making sense, guys? Is it coming together? Have I gone too fast? Have I gone too slow? Cherie?
Yeah, Scotty. So a question, if you'll notice, and I think it's perfect timing. Can you give examples of eggs?
Yes.
And I hesitate to say, you're attending an egg right now, guys.
In a way, yes, that's true. It's about showing the individual that you're speaking to that you are trusted, credible, etc. And it's getting in front of them with a no-brainer situation that will help you, right, get to know them, and they get to know, like, and trust you. A classic example is a short workshop, a half-day workshop, a 2-hour workshop. You charge for it and you go in there. Now, whether you're selling software, whether you're selling mechanical equipment, whether you're selling furniture, whatever it happens to be, the concept of an egg sell isn't new. I just simplified it. So if you go in and you're selling software, right? You want to sell software into a company. Yes, you can offer a free trial, but actually what you want to do is you want to get into that company face to face, talk to them, do some, in inverted commas, pre-consulting work, charge for it, get some money for it, give them a finite deliverable, and then they go, wow, this was really good. You've identified a problem in my company that I did not know that I had, or I knew I had it, I just didn't know quantifiably how bad it was or what it was. Now that you've come into my organization and you've helped me with one small thing, I'm going to need you to help me with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and the egg hatches. That's what we mean by the egg cell. That would be an example. That's what you're looking to do. So what I want you guys to think about when you start messaging people is stop trying to sell your product or service and try to lay an egg. All right, but enough now. Let's get to something practical. Are you ready? I know there's a few more questions and I will get back to those later, but I want to start doing some practical stuff now. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to start working on your first message. Why has Google made that all? Tiny. I'm not a Google expert here. It's weird. Why is it doing that? It's gone into like superscript. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. I want you guys to do. We're going to start doing the invitation message. We're going to write it now. The invitation message, what I'm showing you now, is not the best invitation message you can possibly send out. It's just a bloody good message. The best message you can send out is called the captivating one-liner. And in a way, this is going to relate to that. But that's a whole nother system, a section on its own. What I want you guys to do now is I want you to build an invitation message, and it's super, super, super powerful. This is what you're going to use to invite new people on LinkedIn, not to your existing first degree connections yet. We're going to get to that later. So in your invitation message, it has two parts. The first part that I want you to do, all right, is part one, is I want you to tell me exactly who your target market is on LinkedIn. This is tricky. So I know that you guys want to sell to everybody that comes anywhere near you. You go to a networking event. What do you do? I do this. I do this. And you guys, many people. I do this. I do this. I do this. What do you do? I do this. What do you do? You try to run around to as many people as possible in the hope that one of the poor bastards is going to go, oh my God, what a miracle. I've met you. It just so happens I need exactly what you have to offer. And why doesn't that ever happen, or very, very rarely? It's because you're out there talking me. That if you do that on LinkedIn, you're dead. Give it up now. Go home, shoot yourself, take drugs, whatever you need to do. Let's do this properly. So first thing you got to do is this. Know who your target audience is. When you reach out on LinkedIn, the secret of all secrets is this. If you greet them by name, job title, industry, and even or geography, your click-through rate when the waterfall kicks in later will increase by 300%. Just this one thing, never mind the rest that we're going to be doing, just that one thing. So I want to know, guys, who is your target audience on LinkedIn? And don't say everybody. And I want you to think of an industry, right? Start with an industry. And even though your business can target lots of industries, we're going to focus on one industry. So to help you, Google LinkedIn industry list. Okay. And you'll get to this is the one I usually use. Okay, here's your industry list. I keep forgetting to do this. I'm currently learning Spanish, and it's a little web thing that it changes certain words into Spanish so I can learn Spanish. So that's why it's changing to Spanish every now and again. I'm just going to quickly pause this. Okay, cool. All right, back to English. So here's your industry list, and I'm going to put this in the notes. Let's put this in the notes over here. All right. Now, I did ask you guys to do this with prep work, and hopefully you guys know what it is. Think about an industry. Number one, industry / job title. So it could be CEOs of construction companies, geographic region. One of these is minimum. 2 of these is great. 3 of these is frigging amazing. Here's an example. CEOs of construction companies in Bristol. I don't know why I thought about Bristol. Anyone here from Bristol? That would be fascinating. CEOs of construction companies. I want you guys to write down who's your target audience. It doesn't have to be all 3 of these. You can use the LinkedIn industry list to help you. But when we do this, you will increase your response rates by 300%. Why? Because you are showing them that you understand their pain for their industry or their job title, specifically in their region. If I went out to you guys, right, and I came at night and I said to you, reached out to you and said, you know, I've got I realize that right now, the steel price has increased is increasing, and businesses are suffering. That's one way of doing it. If I said the steel price has increased by 300%, and construction companies are feeling the brunt of it, I've just massively improved it. And then I go, CEOs of construction companies in Bristol are suffering the most from the recent steel price hikes. I've read their pain back to them in such a specific way, it's very difficult for them not to start taking me seriously, because I've shown them that I'm an industry specialist. Who is more of a specialist, right? A brain surgeon or a GP? Who is more respected? A brain surgeon, a heart surgeon, or a GP? Specialist. You are a specialist. Now, don't worry if you're not a specialist, guys. Don't worry about that if you're not specifically a specialist. Let's quickly mute you all, guys. Sorry, let's quickly mute everybody. Don't worry if you feel that your business can deal with everyone. For this particular process, I want you guys to please focus on one audience. This is how we're going to get response rates. You can change it later and you can adapt down the line. Please, can you write it into the chat? All right. Who have we got here? Okay, there's a couple of questions there, Cherie, if you just might keep an eye on them. Marketing, sales jobs, job founder, business owners, 15 plus years in business, 10 to 100 employees. Woohoo, geographic region, Germany. Wolfgang, brilliant. That's true German precision right there. Fuel station owners and managers. Nice. Medium-sized retail CEOs, right? South Africa, Western Cape. Financial advisors in South Africa. B2B services-based entrepreneurs. So Nestine, that's a little bit too broad. Try be more specific. Budget holders and decision makers of shopping malls and mixed-use precincts, landscapers, architects, development. So what you can do there, Ursula, instead of targeting landscapers, architects, and developers, just focus on architects for now. There are thousands of them on LinkedIn. Okay, this is good. Advertising and brand product managers. Okay, you guys have got this, right? You've waxed this. We can move on to the next part. So the invitation message is, number one, industry, job title, or geographic region. Number two, what keeps them awake at night? This is the tricky bit. What keeps them awake at night, guys? Write that down. The steel price is high, like I mentioned before, would be an example. Burnout. If I went and said business owners are struggling with burnout at the moment, that's going to fail, completely and utterly fail. If I said IT managers within IT managers in the UK right now are suffering from burnout thanks to something that happened in the UK, much more powerful. Why are they suffering from burnout? How are they feeling? What is the emotional pain that they're going through? This is emotional. Remember I told you a secret? This is the first secret. By mentioning the job title, geographic region, how well it'll do. Don't be rational in your invitation message. Be emotional. It changes everything. We've seen the highest acceptance rates from the most airy-fairy messages that have gone out. Hi, are you an authentic, caring, genuine human being who loves floating through the skies and dreaming big and wishing upon a fallen star every night to become the greatest human being you could possibly be? How about we connect? You would blown away, guys, but those please don't do that. Of course, I'm just giving you an example. They work incredibly well because they're emotional. So what you want to go into these guys, you want to say construction companies in the UK right now are totally screwed. And they're screwed because and be specific. Let's connect and talk about that from an industry perspective. Or we should have a conversation in the industry about this. Because you're positioning yourself as an expert in that pain. Post a few in the chat, guys. Let's see how you're going with that. I'll pick a few examples. Yeah, I see. So Pat, yeah, here's a beautiful one. I'm going to take Pat Bosman here. All right. Okay. Women struggling with depression in the workplace. That's your target audience. Okay. But that is not an introduction. So first of all, Pat, you need to be specific. So take these words and make them more specific. Women in senior financial positions in South Africa. And don't use the word struggling. Be descriptive. It's emotional. Remember, guys, art, color. This, you've got to bring color. Look at your current message right now. How do I make it more emotion? How do I bring color into it? Women in senior financial positions in South Africa are not struggling with depression, are being crushed and on the verge of suicide. Okay, I might be being dramatic here, but you're putting me on the spot. I've got to do this while everybody's watching. I've been crushed on the verge of suicide thanks to depression in the workplace caused by We need to talk about this.
Okay. Scott, this is what I've been doing for the last 26 years. I've been helping women to overcome depression in the workplace because I was there for 17 years.
Okay, well, that's what you're going to say. You've just given me your credibility, which is great. Now you can bring that up in the later messages. Okay. So that's fine. So okay. Good. So here's your credibility. The problem is, Pat, is no one cares when you tell people that. If you go out and you go and put that on LinkedIn, no one cares. Hi, I've been doing this for 17 years, helping no one could, it's your chicken. Me. Everything that's just come out of your mouth, Pat, and I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to really be aggressive, a little bit aggressive with you because I want to help you. But I want you to understand that everything that came out of your mouth was about you. It had nothing to do with them. This message that goes out is about them, not you. So you can even change it and tweak it to go, hi, name. As a woman in a senior financial position in South Africa, you are being crushed and on the verge of suicide in the workplace caused by blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's not perfect, but you see where we're going. Let's see if anyone else. That you've got to be emotional. You've got to tell them what their pain is. Don't say, hi, would you be interested in this question about desperation? This is what prompted this whole discussion in the first place. People said, I feel desperate. Where's that question about desperation? Someone said it was here somewhere. Sharif, you see it, just highlighted. Someone said that they feel desperate when they reach out to people on LinkedIn. Screw that, guys. You're not desperate. You are telling them what their pain is. You're not asking them, hi, would you be interested in me helping you unpack your pain? Come on. It doesn't work like that. The Queen of England doesn't go, minion number 3, do you think that maybe the chair should be moved? Or what do you think about where the chair, come on, guys. The expert doesn't tell, the doctor doesn't ask the patient, right, what their dosage should be. You have to be the expert from the start to the finish of all your messaging. Yes, you can do it gently and you can do it nicely. Here, I feel that lots of reaching out on LinkedIn makes me look desperate. And feeling is, if I was good, I wouldn't need to do this. Shuri, won't you? I'll just quickly post this in the chat again for the newcomers. We like basically full now, 300 people. For the newcomers, you can follow the notes as we go live. Good, so you can follow us as we go along. It makes me look desperate. You do not look desperate. You are a professional industry expert. Get that into your head now. And that's how you do it. You can be gentle and you can be empathetic, but you sure as hell are not desperate. And this is the messages, right? So going back to these messages, let's go back to the chat. Let's see if anybody else is got anyone here. Wow, Ellie wrote, hi, name. As a small business owner in Australia, let me write this in the notes so you guys can start to use examples. As a small business owner in Australia, you're getting screwed by the financial matrix yet again. After the pandemic, you're just about to bounce back, but the future looks bleak and uncertain. We really need to talk about how to survive and thrive from this. Ellie, what a great, great message. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Whether you sell manufacturing products, whether you're selling software, whether you're selling coaching, whether you're selling consulting services, the approach is the same. You've got to talk about their pain, guys, and you've got to do it in 300 characters. It is more than enough that you need. Okay. Now, Ellie, one thing I'd like you to do, don't use small business owner in Australia. What kind of business owner? A small, just one word, add the word retail, for example. Hi, name, as a small retail business owner in Australia. Boom, much better. And the other thing that you can do after the pandemic, you're just about to bounce back with bums on seats or something like that, or try and make it sound a little bit more industry specific. The more industry jargon, I'm getting a bit more advanced here, and over time, your messages will get better and better. But you can, if you start to use industry jargon that the industry understands, you will get even higher response rates. Guys, do you see what we're doing here? Do you see the power of this? You only have to do this message once and you can start inviting new people and you will start to see the results. Just get it right once, get this message right. And you guys can, while I talk and blab on, yep, then you guys can write your message. You get it done once. After that, you just tweak it and optimize it over time. We're going to put it in the machine in the break in 15 minutes, right? And through the next one, you put it in the machine and you start reaching out to people using that invitation message. You can tweak it, you can personalize it if you want to over time. But for now, I'm trying to help you guys hit your targets. The shortest distance, a straight line. I'm trying to give you a straight line to that target. And this first invitation message is the top of the waterfall. The second and third message we'll do after the break reinforces that with logic. Emotion, logic. People respond emotionally, but then they need to be logical.
Scotty, I'd just like to jump in here. I saw someone said, are you stuck at a stage in your life or career and are yearning to grow and move on to the next thing? I just want to bring up that try not to ask questions, and can you just elaborate more on why you don't ask questions? And instead of saying this is for you, gotcha, you can make that into a statement. If you want to ask people questions, rather turn that into a very profound statement. So instead of saying, are you stuck at a stage in your life or career? Say, you as a whatever, are stuck in a stage in your life and career where you're yearning to grow and you cannot get to the next thing. You're exhausted, you're frustrated, and you remain blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Can you see what I'm saying? So Scott, I don't know if you want me to copy that. I'm going to copy
Yeah, do that. Let's work on that. You can see Shireen you see how Shireen spoke like a queen there. She's saying, don't say, are you interested in, or are you stuck? Don't ask a question, make a statement. There are exceptions to every rule. And yes, there are ways. And we do the captivating one-liner process. Yes, yes, yes. But this message must be a direct statement about their pain in an empathetic, emotional way. You're saying, I know what you're going through. They need to trust you like a doctor, not like a salesperson. If you walk into a doctor's office, right? If you walk into a doctor's office because you've broken your toe or your stomach, let's say your stomach is not feeling well, and you go to the NHS or the doctor, whatever, local doctor, wherever you are in the world, and the doctor goes, Abby, great having you here. Good to see you again. Before we talk about whatever it is you're wrong, whatever's wrong with you, I just want to say I've got this great range of new products that's just come in. Several of them are on special. That one over there, the knee ointment's got a buy three, get only pay for two. Just letting you know about these little cool specials I've got on. And I mean, can you imagine how ridiculous that sounds? That's why you don't go out. No, a doctor listens. What is your problem? Tell me your problem. I will diagnose it and give you a solution. That's what you're doing. Your solution is going to be the egg. But to do that, you've got to build a trust with that individual so that they will open themselves up to you about their problems. That's the difference. So let's have a look. Cherie, did you paste it in the notes there? Okay, so there Cherie's already writing it for you. Nice. You are stuck at a pressure stage in your life, but who is stuck? You are a who? You need to be really specific. You are an IT director. You are a financial manager of a construction company, and this is what the industry is feeling right now. The oil price is going out. What is it? Is there a financial crash happening? What about the fact that you can't predict the future anymore? So you're a financial consultant or an accountant. You can't predict the future anymore. So therefore, you need to really understand and shape your business and have a broad picture of your business to understand what's going on. You've got to be seen as that expert. Who else do we have? Do you have any more, guys? Keep posting. Thank you, Struan. All right, let's do this one. Lola. Okay, Lola. Guys, please mute your microphones because you've given the power, and Yusufu keeps unmuting yourself. Please just stay muted. Sorry, thanks, Matt. All right, Lola. Social impact investing is a rapidly growing investment strategy in Africa, yet many struggle to find it difficult to strike the balance between financial and social outcomes. With 30 years of trailblazing impact in social development, this company can help you walk this talk. All right. So Lola, I'm sure you're wonderful and lovely. This is absolutely, completely wrong. Now, please don't hate me for saying this because I want you to be successful. This is emotionless. This is emotionless. It doesn't have any, sorry, just this background noise. It doesn't have any emotion, and you're not social. Who are you talking to? It doesn't say who you're talking to. So you've got to, one, say who you are talking to by job title or name, then tell them how they are feeling in an empathic, caring way, if you can. It's not that easy to do it, but you can.
So guys, while Scott's doing this, and if you're trying to think, how do I identify the pain of, this core group of people, this niche group of people I want to get in touch with? Well, it's pretty obvious. If you're doing business and you have your low-hanging fruits of people in a certain industry that you currently do business with, you should be familiar with them. You should kind of know your way around that industry anyway. So when you're looking for your target market, don't try and be too fancy and think of, okay, I want to go for this kind of industry or this kind of market because you want to venture off and be experimental. No, you're trying to get you in front of people, trying to get the bottom line going for you. So choose your low-hanging fruit. Select the niche market that you actually know quite well, that you are used to working with, ideally, obviously. And then you will already be knowing kind of what's going on in their world, their industry, their kind of job title. You will know their pain. So I just want to make that clear. You don't have to now sit and research for hours and hours to try and find someone's pain and talk about it. You should already kind of know this is your job. Whatever you're doing, you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, good point, Cherie. So as we get towards the break, I'm going to start just quickly framing you what's coming next. And I can sit and do this all day with you guys, but I can't keep repeating myself over and over again. I hope you guys understand the structure and you can do it. So during the break, go and have a pee, make yourself a cup of coffee. But I want you guys to really consider getting this message right. But if it's not quite right, it doesn't matter. You can tweak it and optimize it. When we get more practical in the second session, it's going to start to get really interesting because we're going to start showing you how to actually build your target and sales funnel. Remember right at the beginning, I said to you, you've got all these LinkedIn profiles. This is one of my LinkedIn profiles. I've got a couple, and people ask me, should you have more than one? Generally, the answer is no, but like everything, there's an exception to every rule. So I'm going to use this as a demo for you guys later as we start to work it. You've got all these contacts. Like I think I've got like 25,000 contacts in this profile. Useless, absolutely useless. What I want to do is I want to build a target and I want to build a sales funnel. And I want this to work with my LinkedIn so I can see where are my great leads, who am I having a conversation with, who are they, right? Where are they in my pipeline? Have I invited them, but they haven't accepted yet? Have they accepted my invitations? Right? Are they a great lead? Or are they what we call, I'm sorry, this is derogatory, a cheap idiot? Don't work with cheap idiots, guys. Never put crap into the app. If they're not good, get rid of them, right? Get them out of here. This is for high quality people. So here they are. I can see the people I'm working with, the great leads. These are the people I'm booking meetings with. I can tag them. This is how you get organized. Some people use a CRM. That's fine. If you have a CRM system, think of what I'm showing you here as a pre-CRM. This happens before the CRM. So this works with the CRM. If you don't have a CRM, then yeah, you can use this kind of instead of a CRM, but only if you're a small business. So you see how you're creating organization. There's a brilliant speech that was done decades ago that was basically about warfare. The people that win wars, the armies that win wars, are not always the most strongest and the most powerful. They are the most organized. You need to be the most organized business person in the room. Misquote Elon Musk, right? So you win by being organized and diligent. How many L's in diligent? Hope that's right. That's how you win. Organization, diligent. 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day, 3 days a week. Minimum 15 minutes a day. Put it in your diary, sit, and you go through and you work the machine. If you really only want to do twice a day, maybe on a Monday and a Thursday, 20 minutes on a Monday, 20 minutes on Thursday. It's in your diary, and you're going to make sure you're going to go out and you're going to use and build your LinkedIn profile and your pipeline. You're going to get your high quality leads out of your first degree, and you're going to invite new people using a message that positions you as a trusted industry expert to those people. You personally, One of the mistakes this lady made, and again, I love you, and I hope you haven't gone away and sworn at me on social media because I said bad things about you, Lola. I do it because I care, right? You mentioned the name of your company. This is a big, complete, utter no-no. You never talk about your company. You don't mention, you don't talk about how your company can help. Me. This is all your chicken, your chicken, your chicken, your chicken. Don't talk about you. All right. It's them, their pain, their pain, their pain. This little technique I'm showing you now, and we'll get back to it before we start sending in the next one, is how you start that waterfall effect. Then in your target and sales funnel, you move them outside of LinkedIn, right? And you start putting them into the Chrome extension. And this is where you can start sending your invitations and your leads. I'm just going to do a quick demo. If I'm looking for CEO of a construction company on LinkedIn, right? I look at people. And I try to connect with somebody. Sheree, won't you please mute that person? Hi, name. CEOs of construction companies are facing a devastating time with steel price shattering revenue, and you're stuck with overheads that are causing nightmares. Should we connect and discuss these industry issues? This was just one I made up in a previous session. I'm going to put that in here, right? But do you see what happened? It brought that up. It brought up the message. I didn't have to type it. Because under your settings, and we're going to do this, go through this just now, under settings, in my invitation message, I can edit the template, like moving that space before the hi. Now, when I invite somebody like Nikos, hi Nikos, CEOs of construction companies are facing a devastating, look at the words I'm using, devastating time with steel price shattering revenue and just stuck with overheads, causing nightmares. I'm being a bit over dramatic, guys. I get it, but you get it. Should we connect and discuss these industry issues? You want a powerful LinkedIn profile? Bang, welcome to the real world. Let me put that in as another example. Is this making sense, guys? Is it starting to come together? Then the machine that we can build for you guys, should you choose to, on the right-hand side here, which is the My Most Trusted. And if you guys did your homework, you'll have it installed. If not, it's okay. This will manage this process for you and build the messaging as you go along and keep your messages. You can tweak it and optimize and manage your process as you go along and make life much quicker and much easier for you. So again, disclosure, what's in it for me? Why was Scott doing these free things that look like they're free, but really he secretly wants to make money out of this? This costs $20, guys. That's it. And you buy vouchers and you pay as you go per month as you need them. That's it. And for that, you can use it, etc., etc. I don't make much money out of this. We make money from doing it for you. If you want to have a LinkedIn profile that looks like that has lots of people in it, like Cameron's, we can log into it for your behalf. So we make money on the services. We can do it done for you. I can sit with you and do a workshop, or my team can do a workshop on the captivating one-liner and do these messages for you and set it up for you so that you can do it yourself. Or we can do the messaging and we can build this all for you and we can all do it for you behind the scenes. But the important thing is leads do not come from heaven. No matter who is doing a lot of the work for you, you still have to take a responsibility and accountability and build relationships with people. A virtual assistant or somebody in your team cannot do as good a job as you can as a business owner. But as the business owner, you're only working with high quality people in your sales funnel. LinkedIn has everything you need to build the sales funnel. And this little tool will help you organize it. Now, what's going to happen now is we go into the break, right? It's a half an hour break, but it doesn't have to be a break. Please, number one, work on your invitation message with the technique that I've shown you. Number two, I'm creating a breakout room. I'm creating 2 breakout rooms. Breakout room number 1 is for those people who want to learn how to install and just get this extension set up. Cherie will take that. So you can go into breakout room 1 and join Cherie and learn how to use My Most Trusted. If you're like super technical and you're a geek, right? My CTO is live, is going to be on this, and our developers is going to be in the second chat room. If you want to know how data works, because let's take Sean, for example, right? Email addresses. We get the data out of LinkedIn. We get his email address. In many cases, we even get a phone number. About 1 in 5 people even has a phone number. Here we go. See, he's got a mobile number. We get names, phone numbers. I know Rian, so he's okay. And well, seeing as he's a guinea pig, he's got a great solar panel cleaning business. There you go. So thanks, Rian, for showing your name and phone number in front of all these people. And allowing me to, with full rights and protection, give your data to people who are currently looking at this anyway. So as you can see, you've got the data. Now, if you're a geek and you want to know how to push this data, export it, get it into a CRM, we've got APIs built in the back end. There's a whole bunch of cool data stuff that can work in the back end. So if you're a real techie, right, and you want to learn more about that, go into breakout room 2, which is going to be for all the really technical people. So breakout room 1 is with Cherie to learn how to get this Chrome extension installed and running. Breakout room 2 is with the tech people. If you're super technical and you want to talk about API. If you have no idea what an API is, go to breakout room 1 or stay in the main chat. I'll be here to answer some extra questions and go to like an informal chat where we can just, have a few discussions if you need any other questions about your messaging, that sort of thing. Making sense, guys? Is that good? Is anything else in the chat? Any other questions or anything? Haven't been able to follow the chat for a little while because I've been on this.
Scotty, maybe just very quickly before we break out, can you just address the Poppy question and the GDPR question?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually talk about that at the beginning of the next session. It's a question in itself. Okay, yes. All right. So I will address that, guys. LinkedIn does make that available and there's some things we can talk about, but that's a really, really good point.
And people want to know how to go into a breakout room.
Yep, I'll explain that now. I'm just creating the breakout rooms for you right as we speak.
Yes, for Zippy, yes, you have 5 minutes. So if you don't want to join any of the groups, go get yourself that herbal tea. Maybe do a bit of meditation or stretching because the next session is going to be super powerful and you're going to need your wits about you.
That's for sure. Just building these groups quickly, guys. Right.
Question about specific age groups. It's very difficult. The best way you can go about it is looking at people's pictures before you connect. If that was the question you were asking, Sandhya.
I'll get to a lot of these questions in the second half, guys. But yeah, there's some really, really good points. And there's lots of little itty bitty things that you have, like the GDPR Poppy question, data privacy, like, how to use the LinkedIn, what to look for in a LinkedIn profile, those kind of things. We're going to get to that as we start getting really practical in the second session. Guys, I've now opened the breakout rooms. There are 2 breakout rooms, like I mentioned. Some people struggle to get into them, but there should be a button on the bottom of your Zoom with more and then 3 dots. Right? More 3 dots, or there's a button saying breakout rooms. When you click on breakout rooms, it'll allow you to choose which one you want to go for, want to go into. Techies, if you're super technical and you know about APIs, that sort of thing, please join the second breakout group. Excellent, guys. Anyone having a problem? Feel free to now unmute yourself if you need any assistance with this.
Hi, Scott. It's David Marshall speaking. How are you?
Good. How are you, David?
Lekker. Listen, super lazy. Would love the all done for me service. How does that work?
Yeah, sure. So the best thing is, let me put my email address into the chat, and anyone can email me. I will give you the list, and it starts like there's depending on what you're looking for. We always start with your content, David. Like we've got to nail your captivating one-liner. Like that's key. So we usually start with a workshop. I sit with you for an hour and a half and nail that content and get the messaging. Then you can decide either you or your team can run with it. So we can train your team to do it, or we can do it for you and log into your personal LinkedIn profile and start getting that going. So there's various pricing options. They range from, I think it starts from like $100 a month all the way up to, I think, the most expensive boutique where we literally interview you like a journalist, write content, do emails, everything like that. That goes up to about £500 a month, which is about 10,000 Rand a month. So yeah, we can do it really simply for you, but effectively for a couple of grand versus obviously the big fish.
Okay, I'm excited about the £500 one.
Oh, great. Good to hear. No, David, yeah, sure. Pop me an email. The key and the secret is the messaging, the captivating one-liner messaging. We have to nail that. It's the difference between a 1% click-through rate, and for all of you guys, a 1% click-through rate and a 15, we've got 15% click-through rates. And I'll show you what a click-through is down the line, because you want to get them off LinkedIn onto a landing page or a video or some kind of content down the line.
Okay. I'll be a little honest and tell you the reason I want you guys to do it is because I'm selling a product that 4 years ago didn't exist. So I'm one of those people who might be in love with their own product a little too in love. In other words, I go to 10 meetings, expect 10 sales. I cannot believe it when people don't sell. So I'm clearly doing something wrong, because to me, my product's a no-brainer. So we're in the live chat space. And obviously 5 years ago, I used to have to go demonstrate live chat. But now everybody gets confused between live chat and chat bots, and people don't know you can outsource the chatting part. So it's almost like I have to educate people. And clearly I've been doing it for 5 years and I'm clearly doing something wrong. We're growing nicely, but like I say, so that's why I think for me, somebody to just run it, who's got all your experience, that would be okay. I'll email you. I don't have to go into it now. Everybody wants to.
No, that's great. No, yeah, with pleasure. See, once again, and you said it yourself, David, to be honest, you immediately started going, I don't understand why I can't sell it. I do a chatbot and it's the difference between this and this. And then we can offer you started kind of going on a me kind of approach. But you were onto something when you were talking, when you talked about the education side of it, the difference between the different chatbots, that kind of thing. So we can start working with that. So you're seen as an expert in chatbots, but what do chatbots actually do? Chatbot is not a pain. We need to look at their pain. What are they going through? Their websites aren't converting enough, but we'll talk about that down the line. But that's what we'll get into in the workshut.
Okay, I'll end with just saying this. We help you sell more online, guaranteed. All your money back, and I still can't get.
Yeah, that's because you use the word guaranteed, and you use the word money back, and you use all the trigger phrases that people hate here.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, that's why you're here. Good.
Yeah, that's right. So that's good. And I'll talk. It's good to have everybody on listening to this, because this is like a bit of an informal chat now, but I can still impart some interesting wisdom in a practical side of things. When you're reaching out to people, like if you're in front of them, then you do your sales pitch that David just did, right? And he'll be quite good at that down the line. But to get them to the sales pitch is a completely different approach. It's chalk and cheese. It's like radically different. To get them into the comfy chair, you have to break through that clutter, and you've only got 12 to 15 seconds to do that on LinkedIn. We get people all the time. Advertising is not working for them. Facebook advertising is not working for them. Sometimes it does. I've got Dan Brower, who's a huge guy. Dan, you should just say hi and put your LinkedIn profile into the chat there. He's just so good with so many different types of systems and videos and things like this. And he can, in terms of what working and what doesn't, just a very practical approach. And he'll tell you that a lot of the stuff out there doesn't work. You have to know how to use it. So what I'm trying to do here for you guys is give you the simplest, most effective way of getting awesome, epic results from that.
Scott, can I?
Hey, Dan.
Say, how's it, man?
Of course,
brilliant,
man. Of course.
Brilliant webinar. Thank you. Scott, there was something that Cherie and you said that kind of resonated, and there's another step that, when everybody wants to discover what your pain is. Okay, what is your pain? What is your pain? And then the minute you tell them what their pain is, lack of sales, lack of time, lack of sleep, lack of energy, burnout, you name it, then you immediately jump in and then you say, I've got the right product for you. You bang off all your product. Now, the thing is that there's another step to this whole thing. And that is to discover what it means to them to solve that issue. And it is not the solutions that you've got. It is the meaning and the value to your client or the customer or the person that you're talking to. And if you can get them to that point, in other words, to what it actually means for them, then you have got, and if he doesn't sign up on the deal, then you got to throw your hands up and shoot yourself in the head.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dan. What Dan is saying is true. And what we're trying to do here, though, is take exactly what Dan's talked about, what I've done, and turn it into a process. And this is where we built our software to help us do that. And then we take the process and combine the left brain and the right brain together. The thing is, you guys listening to this need to understand the overall impact of what you're trying to get to, because you still have to play a role in that process. A machine will not bring you sales, but a machine can get you close. You have to get them out of the sales conversion gap. And I know a lot of you guys weren't here to listen to the sales conversion gap, and I'll go through that again later, but only you can do that. Yes, you can hire a salesperson, and if you've got really well-trained salespeople, they can do that themselves as well. And if you have resources, but you cannot create an automated sales tool unless you are 1 in 1,000. It's possible, it's difficult. And the people look for that holy grail. They want this automated thing where they can sit back and deals just come in, or these high quality meetings come in. Much, 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 much more difficult than we think it is.
Hi, Scott. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes. Who is that? Sorry, why isn't your name coming up? Why can't I see your name?
It's Lee Collin.
Lee, how's it, Lee?
Good. I'm just quick. I just have one question that wasn't answered. That's just bothering me a little bit. I'm also into marketing strategies and so on. So I have actually 2 companies. So my thing is to select a target audience on one LinkedIn account. Is that possible? Because I'm finding it really difficult to manage like tons of clients' accounts, and at the same time I have to create 2 accounts for me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So if you're saying you've got multiple LinkedIn profiles.
No, I'm thinking of developing something like I have one, and I have basically 2 companies that basically does work at different points in the spectrum.
Okay. Watch this, Lee. So I was going to go through this in the second session.
Oh.
Our little Chrome extension, our tool, allows you to switch between businesses or products or message systems. So right now, if I'm on my default one, this is the company one, I can switch to LinkedIn like a legend. Now I'm promoting my events, completely separate database. Then I can go and I can work on, I'm targeting specific LinkedIn experts to join, and I can target LinkedIn experts. The messaging is different. The database is different. Everything is completely separate. So now I've separated these 2. It's a bit more advanced, but that's what you're looking for. So yes, I think you will like this, Lee. I think it's going to help you a lot.
I'll definitely have a look at that. Yeah, because I mean, like I'm a little bit in construction, I'm a little bit in engineering and electrical, and at the same time I'm doing marketing, website development, videos, phones. So
yeah.
It's a bit of both.
It's going to make your life it's going to make your life so much easier. And so Lee makes a really good point for everyone also listening to this. You might have more than one product, service, or company, and you've got one LinkedIn profile. And like, do you open another LinkedIn profile? Yeah, maybe not a bad idea. A bit more complicated, but it's very doable. I do that. But then you've got like, you've got one separate database, your good quality leads. But what if you have to separate those into more? That's what we'll start talking about. You can do that within the Chrome extension as well. So yeah, Lee, I think you're going to like that. Another thing I'm going to talk about as well to preempt you. Oh, it's so powerful. So Lee, do you have like anyone else in your business, or is it just you?
I actually have about 5 staff that will run.
Perfect. Okay. Right. Here's the cheapest, easiest, quickest way to revolutionize your marketing. You take those 5 staff. You open LinkedIn profiles for each of those 5 staff. You give them the big 3, beautiful photograph, background, a bio, right? Fabulous photo, beautiful background, brilliant bio, right? You get that set up. You take those 5, you get your messaging on your LinkedIn profile set up using our Chrome extension. Then you duplicate it for them. They install it, but with all the messaging already built for them. You put 15 minutes a day, 3 days a week into their diaries, and they go out, right? That's 5 staff you've got, and they invite 100 new people per week each, using the messaging that's pre-created for them. All they do is click send, click send, click send. They're not robots. They're still human, but they just follow the process and they do it. You've got 5 people out there using their LinkedIn profiles to generate referrals for you.
Okay, 100%. Yeah, because like I actually like the technique that you use, like using basically identifying problems and creating that as a sales technique.
Same problem. No, the same technique. They do exactly the same technique. Their messaging that they reach out is talking about the pain and the problem. Same thing I've shown you, but they're doing it for you or with you. So you're using your LinkedIn profile, but now you've got 5 of your staff also doing it. Gentle messages, reaching out to property developers or whoever it is that you're looking to reach out to, gently building your credibility and all coming into your database.
Okay, 100%. Yeah, because normally the technique I was going for was more, I used to use like a fixed, sorry, this is working outside.
That's okay.
I'm using like a UPS, basically, a USP technique, unique selling point. So I basically identify what's unique about my product and I just advertise on that market.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, depending on what technique that you're using, that's fine. What matters though is that you don't spam your product or service. You can have 5 people in your team helping you market, but it's so easy. They just follow the process. They don't really have to think. They need very little training, and they just go click, 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 click. That's it.
All
So
right,
anyway,
thanks.
something to think about. It boggles the
Yeah.
mind a little bit, I know. But for the rest of you, I mean, does anyone else want to jump in and say anything? Does that make sense? While we're on break, for those of you who joined us, we're technically on a break right now. We're having a chit chat. There's breakout rooms if you want to join the breakout rooms. But yeah, cool, man. Thanks, Lee. Anyone else want to comment or chirp in? Or I'm gonna have to go and get a glass of water and go to the bathroom in a few minutes. So we'll probably just stop during that process, that point, and then I'll resume later. But if anybody else wants to say something, you're welcome. Fiona's saying, please repeat those 3 points. I'm not sure which 3 points they are there, Fiona. Maybe pop a question into the chat with capital Q and we can add it. Tyler's offering, do we offer a basic LinkedIn training course? Yeah, we do. We've actually got quite a bit of stuff on our madge3.com website. And I'll take you through that. Let me just quickly put that in there into the notes. Lots of questions coming in here. So if you go to visit our madge3.com website, while we're in the break, guys, I have a favor to ask you. If you're sitting with your laptop right now, I have a huge favor to ask you. I would love you guys to go to the My Most Trusted app where you install the My Most Trusted Chrome extension. I'm pasting it in the, sorry, not that one. I want you to go to the Google browser extension, the Chrome store. Our app is currently, our Chrome extension is on the Chrome store, and you use that to install it. Please, can you go to reviews? Please, can you go to reviews and give us a 5-star rating? I'm going to paste it into the chat now. There it is. If you're around and you're listening, I'm going to stop recording now for the next 15 minutes and I'll be back in 12 minutes on the turn of the hour as the break finishes. But if anyone is here listening, it would be really great if you could just give us a 5-star rating on the Chrome extension. mymosttrusted.net for those of you listening to this and don't have the actual link, mymosttrusted.net. Beautiful, everybody. So hope you enjoyed the breakout rooms. I hope you learned quite a bit. If your mind is going like, oh my goodness, I'm really bamboozled, and Scott's still got another hour and a half to go. Oh my gosh, I don't think my brain can handle it. This will be recorded and it will be online. All right, so you can come back to it later if you want to. The bit that we've gone through now and your first message is just, it's so important to frame why you're doing this and to get that. If you understand the why, and as you can start to see the practical come into fruition now, that's where you're going to start to see some incredible results. Because I actually would like, yes, Seppo.
I want to ask a question. Did you record the breakout room sessions as well or not?
No, we didn't. There's a lot of information on how that works separately. So if you need any information on how the Chrome extension works or more detail or anything like that, you can just contact us separately and we'll do that. We might even at the end, for the last 15, 20 minutes of the session, in about an hour and 15 minutes time, jump back and we'll do another breakout room for those people who want to do it again. So is that okay, Martin?
No problem. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. All right, great. So I'm going to talk about Poppy, GDPR, data privacy for the next two or 3 minutes. For those of you who were in the previous breakout room, your brain's going mad and you want to just kind of go to have a bathroom, you don't want to, last thing you want to do now is talk about bloody data privacy. That's fine. Just have a bit of a, clear your head a bit. So all good, you'll be fine. And then you can come back obviously at any time to listen to the replay. And we're going to get practical now. It's going to get really powerful and how you can start to use some advanced features. Also, before you go, if anybody wants to join our global reseller network that we're forming, if you like this, what I'm teaching, and you like the practical applications of the Chrome extension, etc., and you want to introduce it to your clients and become a reseller, please, in the agenda, scroll to the bottom of the agenda. There's a link to a form. Cherie might actually post the link to that form now. You can sign up for an event that we're doing specifically for resellers. And there's a Telegram group that you can join in as well. And you'll be taught how to do it. You'll be taught the advanced ways and how to become a reseller and take what we've done and built that. That's super, super exciting. There's no date for the event yet, but it will be in the next couple of weeks. It'll be soon. So if you like this and you want to teach it and pass it on to other people, join our Telegram group and fill out that little form that Cherie has just pasted in there. All right, guys, data privacy. Let's just deal with this now. So it's on record and it's all recorded. So I don't have to do this too many times for people listening in the future because it is an important question. Right, now we've dealt with lots of lawyers. As you know, my son's becoming a lawyer. Not that I consulted with him, but I've worked with a lot of lawyers in the past in many different areas. And it's important to understand that GDPR and Poppy and all these privacy things is a very big question. And I'm going to give you the short of it. So the first thing to understand is that from a data perspective, our data privacy policy says the data belongs to you. We can't touch it as in my most trusted or anything like that. It's your data. So I just want to make that clear because some people go, well, if I'm using my LinkedIn profile, are you guys able to access my data and then start emailing them? No, we don't do that. All right. It's really important to get to understand that the data privacy clearly says that the data belongs to you. Not like social media. When you signed up for LinkedIn, that your data belongs to LinkedIn. All right. Now, what happens is that's the simple part. Now, when you go onto your personal LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn makes that data available, it's available to you. Data privacy has got two very distinct, hemispheres. The one is where you store the data and the other is what you do with it. As a small business or a company, where you store the data is nowhere near as important as what you do with the data, because that's where you get into the most trouble. Storage of data is, of course, very important and blah, blah, blah. But most small businesses, I mean, you've got an Excel list on your machine. Data gets stored everywhere. It's sitting on your phone. It's on your laptop. You've got to take precautions to prevent it. But it's what you do with that data that's important. Now, here's the key. The data in a LinkedIn profile belongs to you personally, not the company. So if you've got 2 or 3 people, members of your team in the company, and they are using their LinkedIn profiles, they are using that LinkedIn profile and pulling data out of it, right? Or using the data in that that becomes available, email addresses, phone numbers, etc., in their personal capacities, because they own it in their personal capacity, not the company capacity. So legally, that completely changes things. What happens is when you as a company try to do something with that data, that's where things get a little bit tricky. And this is where you need permission. The safest thing that you can possibly do is only use LinkedIn to message, and only message within LinkedIn, only use LinkedIn, don't use anything else, right? That's the safest things to do. Almost as safe, where you'll still be fine, you'll almost never get into trouble, is if you take their email addresses out of LinkedIn and you email them for a business purpose, but you only do it once and you tell them you're only going to do it once, and you obviously look after that data. So we call that an opt-in. That's the best way to do it. What you should not do is take all the data, which you can do in our extension, by the way. You can pull all the data as an Excel spreadsheet, names, email addresses of everyone you put in there, and then spam them with a special offer. If you do that, then you are betraying the rules of LinkedIn and everything like that. The best thing that you can do is when you're sending out your LinkedIn invitations and they accept that LinkedIn invitation, is to know that they have now made that data available to you. So you are, as an individual in your personal capacity, able to use it, but only under specific circumstances. And if you really, really, really want to be clever, you can actually put in your invitation message, I will be emailing you. So by accepting my LinkedIn invitation, I will now be emailing you. That's starting to get a bit overkill. But what I recommend doing, guys, recommend that you do, if you're going to pull the email addresses out of using our extension and you want to email them, you email them once, you make it very clear where it's come from, and you tell them, I'm giving you an opportunity to opt in. Otherwise, I will delete your data forever. That's the best way to be compliant. Most people obviously are not compliant. They don't do that. But I'm just giving you the overall GDPR data privacy picture. So I hope that answers questions. If you've got more questions about that, put them in. I'll get back to them at the end of the process, because there's a bit on that. So let's carry on. Happy to have that. Always willing. Anything in there to chat about? All good, all happy. Everybody's willing to go. Let's do this, guys. Let's hit this. Let's get practical. Sharing screens. This is the one that you're going to give us a nice 5-star rating on. Okay, it's on the Chrome Web Store. Thank you, everybody, for giving us a 5-star rating. mymosttrusted.net. If you do mymosttrusted.net, you'll get taken to this page. And this is where you download the Chrome extension. Again, we'll probably do a breakout room at the end of it, just for those people who really want to understand the Chrome extension again. And Cherie will take that. All right, so let's just quickly see what we've done. I've talked to you about chicken and eggs. I've talked to you about sales conversion gaps. You're understanding the burning questions, you know, the waterfall, that ability to constantly drip messages. We're going to build those messages now. Your target audience, who do you want to reach? What do you have to teach? What is their pain? Where is their gain? It's not me. It's not your cute little chicken. It's their burning desire to have something in their organization or in their lives fixed or supported. That's what they're looking for. And thank you, Dan, once again for providing us with a little bit of insight on that during the break. We started creating your ideal invitation message, which is emotional. Emotional invitations messages work best, and very, very specific invitation messages. And then obviously the My Most Trusted Chrome extension. We didn't do 30 invitation messages. We'll try and get to that now after the break. But first of all, we want to focus on the messages for the next few minutes. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Let's talk about those messages. Now, what you're looking to create is a series of messages, minimum 3. There's going to be more than 3, but 3 to 4 messages which you can build, put them into the Chrome extension so that you're now managing it, right? You can manage it, manage your pipeline, your sales pipeline. As you go down the sales pipeline, your goal is to move them down from invitations to acceptances, leads. This is your pipeline that you're building. Your goal is to put the number, your total number of deals multiplied by 5 in here. And unfortunately, that means you're going to have to invite at least 3 to 5 more people on top of that. So you're going to have to multiply the number, the second number you got early at the beginning, by another 5. It's tough, guys. It's tough, but you can do it. And we've built a way that can really help you manage that process. Okay, so let's go once again. Quick recap. How are you guys going on your invitation messages? Maybe I'll do one more invitation message. Here, Nico, CEOs of construction companies. Don't worry about the spelling. You'll fix that later. This is the person's name. This was the example I gave earlier. CEOs of construction companies. It could even be even better if I said Australian or Belgium, seeing as we're talking to Europe today. CEOs of Belgian construction companies. You get your messages specific and you increase response rates by minimum 300% just by doing that. CEOs of Belgian construction companies are facing a devastating time with steel prices shattering revenue, and you're stuck with overheads that are causing nightmares. Should we connect and discuss these industry issues? This is just an example, guys. Don't follow my words exactly, but it's an emotional play on their pain that is specific to their audience. Bang, boom, awesome, flipping brilliant. Okay.
Ready?
Yes, Cherie.
Okay, so someone's asking what would be a good invitation message for attorneys. So this is also making me think about when you're trying to reach out to specific types of high caliber professions like the attorneys, the doctors, the surgeons, or anything like that, because some people do, professors, perhaps, things like that. All I want to say is please remember they're A, also human, B, be a little bit more specific. Lawyers for what? What is firstly, what is your solution? So with whatever your solution is, how does that link back to what their pain could be that your solution can possibly provide? So it's very difficult to say what would be a good information message for attorneys. What do you mean? How long is a piece of string? What are you trying to achieve here? What's wrong with the attorneys? Is it a specific set of attorneys in a specific industry? What is it? So you need to be way more specific when asking these questions to yourself so you can come up with that really elegant message. But also don't forget, these guys are human and they are getting bombarded every day by all in country trying to vie for their attention with all this crap. So when you come across as another human to another human, even if they're a judge, they actually appreciate it. And if you want to pop in a bit of humor, knock it out.
So thank you, Cherie. So while she's talking, do you see what I'm writing here? Let's talk about candidate attorneys, for example. Candidate attorneys in UK law firms are Gen Zs. They won't perform. They'll get frustrated. And demoralized. Let's actually say this. They are frustrated and demoralized because they are doing things in the old way. Can we connect? Or, you know, there's better ways of saying, may we connect? There's a few better ways of doing it, but just to get the basic idea that I'm showing you is, you see how you've talked about the pain, the candidate attorneys in UK law firms. It could be the candidate attorney in your UK law firm, but it doesn't have to be that targeted in the first person. But you see, this is what you're doing. They're frustrated and demoralized because they're doing things in the old way. They hate the old way, you know, they hate the old way. You know, that's this kind of thing. It's a rough example, but hopefully that'll help you with your messaging.
And Scotty, someone asked, Michelle, should the pain you mentioned be the pain you can address with a service or product you can offer? As I mentioned, or is the pain you mentioned only a segue into a conversation? Yes, both, or either or. Absolutely. If you're struggling to actually find a niche and what the pain is, sometimes what will help is, okay, so what is your product? What is your solution? What does it actually do? Okay, so it's obviously solving something. What is it solving? And obviously there's a pain linked to the opposite of that your thing solves. So you can then look, okay, are these guys actually experiencing this? Let me now focus on what that is. So when we do have a chat, it's going to be a no-brainer when I bring up my product. Or at the end of the day, if you're just trying to create something as a bit of a segue because maybe it doesn't relate exactly in that way to your service or product, you still want to create that conversation with that person to get them to like you enough to want to actually sit on a call with you. So if it takes just to being a segue into a conversation, start off there then. But I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, guys, if you are really struggling with the messaging, even after this work, what we've done so far, just please book a workshop with me, or, you know, I've got some videos and stuff that go through it. At the very least, you've got to read my ebook. Okay, it's a 15-minute read. If you go to madge3.com, you can download my ebook. All right, it's called The Captivating One-Liner. It's 15 minutes to read. When you're on the site, after a few seconds, thing will pop up. It looks like this. This is The Captivating One-Liner. All right, 3rd edition. I'm actually going to be doing a 4th edition when I have some time soon. And it just talks about that. It's a 15-minute read. See, this pops up here. Sign up and download the ebook. So it's on the madge3.com website. And that's really going to help you frame it. Do you remember earlier I said to you guys, this is not the best, what I'm showing you is not actually the best way of sending out your invitation message. Don't get me wrong, it's flipping great. Like it's really, really going to rock. And it's going to get you great results. But the better way is to actually go and say to them, I have just written an article specifically for candidate owners of law firms about the Gen Z's impact or the Gen Z's role within a UK law firm. Do you see that? So if you go to madstreet.com, download the book, then you're saying, I have written a piece of content. I've made a video. So even better is to write an article or a blog or a blog post. Even better, a 90-second video, no more than 90-second video, speaking about this specific pain as you are the expert in it. Now, once again, people procrastinate because they use excuses. They go, oh, I don't have an article. I can't do what Scott's teaching me. Oh, I don't have a video. I don't like being on video. Therefore, I'm never going to do this. You don't need to have a video. I'm just saying it's a better way of doing it. If you just follow the very, very basics of what I've shown you now, you're going to get results. Because the next message that's going to come up now, right, which is the acceptance message, right? And the acceptance message is the message you send out after they've accepted. Now, a lot of like LinkedIn experts and stuff will go on a lot, and rightly so, about a whole bunch of other things about LinkedIn. You probably notice and go, this is so weird. Scott hasn't talked about groups. And he hasn't talked about like polls and like event parties and things like that, and post parties, and how to get your profile found and stuff on LinkedIn. Like, why isn't he talking about that? And the answer is, there are other people that do it better than me. That's the first honest truth. So there's lots and lots of stuff that you can learn from them. But B is like, even when you do all that, then what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to get the business? How are you going to get them out of the sales conversion gap? The sales conversion gap is one of the most critical things that you can understand. So you need to know this stuff. And it's better, in my personal opinion, it's way better to have a strong relationship with 150 really, really good people in an inner circle of people in your inner circle of your industry, or the industry you want to talk to, or the job title you want to talk to. Form a great relationship with 150 key people and do it really, really well. Then start, getting too into the LinkedIn black hole. Guys, LinkedIn can take you down such a black hole, man. They want you on that platform for hours and hours and hours a day and get very little from it. They just want you to keep doing everything and posting, and then this and CV and telling who you're from and who your friends were and endorsing people. You can do that, but it's not going to help you if you don't get the basic messaging, outreach messaging. Direct messenger is the one-on-one key focus. 8% of people on LinkedIn are active on LinkedIn. So what the hell, how are you going to reach the other 92%? You do it via direct messenger. You don't get all of them via direct messenger, but most of them you do. People, your messages will get emailed to them if they're not on LinkedIn. So they'll often LinkedIn will send them, ironically, send them an email saying, so-and-so sent you a message, click on it to read it. There it is. You actually get your message emailed to them anyway. So I hope this is making sense, guys. You got to start the waterfall effect with that waterfall going down and making a splash at the bottom. And you start it by talking about their pain in an emotional way. Now the acceptance message, once they've connected,
Scotty,
is rational.
Sorry to interrupt. Two vital questions. Firstly, Samantha's got her hand up. Samantha, is it something urgent? Does it pertain to what we are discussing now? Can we help?
Sorry, yeah. I think, so if I'm following along, I really like the concept of that catchy line, getting somebody interested. How do you close that?
Okay.
So no, earlier you said, like, should we meet to chat? But if you've said, I've just written an article, how do you close that? Would you say
I'm going to get to that,
like,
Sam.
I thought you'd find it useful.
I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Yeah. Yes. So see, that's actually, it's not a bad question actually, because a lot of people they have this burning desire to add, did you find it interesting? Or let me know what you thought of the article or whatever it happens to be. You can put that if you want, but you don't have to. Just resist the urge. You're just giving information because you're going to do something very clever. You're going to track the click. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. When you send somebody a personal LinkedIn message with a link in it, you're going to track the click. LinkedIn doesn't do that. We do that because it's probably the most critical piece of information. If you look under this little icon that occurs when you install the Chrome extension, right? It actually tells me there's a reminder due in a day, right? Sabita Singh from this company, ABC, whatever, clicked on video, MMT for 2 days ago. Okay, she clicked on my video. Catherine clicked on my legend event form. I can see who's clicking on the links. This is where it's going to become very interesting. And I'm going to come back to this just now because you're going to track the link. But first of all, what link? So I need to do that first. I need to show you what link we're talking about. The best thing you can do is write your own content, but I'm going to assume you don't have your own content. You don't have a blog post. You don't have a video, especially specifically for this target audience. Don't lead them to a generic blog post. You've got to be very specific. So here's what you can do. All right. Your message should read, thank you so much for accepting. Name. Now write this in your own words, guys. Don't copy me word from word. It's got to be your own flavor. It's got to be etc. And once again, guys, if you're struggling, just please get help from me. Scott@madge3.com. Pop me an email and I'll assist you. We can book a workshop. But the whole thing is right. Thank you for accepting. Name, not question mark, exclamation mark, for example. And you don't have to use exclamation marks. We don't have to get into that level of detail. But now let's pick. Let's choose, let's do this candidate attorneys one, because that proves that I didn't do this earlier. See, I do this on the fly. Like while everybody's watching me, I do this on the fly. So you guys can see I haven't practiced or anything beforehand to prepare for it. Right, this is invitation message, right? Right, and then acceptance message. Okay, now rational. This was much more emotional. Now we get rational. Now, if you've written something yourself, as promised, here is the article I just wrote with the captivating one-liner. If not, I want you to find an article or a research paper that shows and reinforces the pain that you mentioned in the first message. Candidate attorneys in the UK are Gen Zs. They're frustrated and demoralized because they're doing things an old way. They hate the old way. Can we connect? Thank you so much for accepting, name. Forbes wrote this art. Obviously, it's not Forbes. Let's call it Legal Mag UK. Published an article that showed. Where's my English? Showing that 68% of Gen Zs in the workplace actively seek out new technology to make their lives easier and better. This is what I have. Here is the link. Sorry, here is the link. Now, you can break these up into multiple messages because within our tool, you can have a reminder in a week's time to do the message after this, where you can actually talk about how you say this. Now, you see what happens. Thank you so much. My Legal Mag publisher is showing 60, insert link. This is key. So if you're playing Candy Crush or you're on your phone on Facebook watching that cute little someone do their art in like 3 minutes and build an entire building or paint an entire side of a car, stop please, just for 2 seconds, just quickly push pause, because this is super important. When you insert the link to that UK publication or whatever it is with a statistic or whatever it happens, it's going to become a tracking link, which I'm going to put tracking link, and B, if they click on it, what does it tell you? If they click on this link, if they've read your messages, right? First of all, if they click on it, you know they've read your messages. Secondly, if they click on it, it means they have that pain. Does that make sense, guys? And you get notified that they've clicked on it. As I showed you before in the Chrome extension, it'll tell you who's clicked on it and when. If you install the mobile app that goes with it, it actually pings you on the phone. And it tells you that they have that pain. Now they're reading the article. Now you know they have that pain. They become a primary and premium lead for you. So now, remember we did the numbers, right? So 100, you remember how you said, I want 30 deals at the beginning. I want 30 deals. I need relationships with powerful, with 30 times 30 times 5 equals 150. Is that right? Is my math right? Yeah. It's 150 bottom of funnel. To get those 150, you need at least 5x that moving into your funnel. Okay, which is 750. Okay, now you do not have time with 750 people. You barely have time to work with 150 people, which is why we're going to talk later about how you can get help by using people around you to break that 750 into members of your team or a virtual assistant, or you can get help. But you don't have time to work with 750 people. Let me keep that all in capitals. Capitals, there we go. Okay. So by clicking, they tell you they have that pain. Boom. They are now a top quality lead, assuming, of course, that you've checked their LinkedIn profile and they're the right quality people. If they're a cheap idiot, again, sorry, if they're somebody that is definitely not somebody you want to work with, don't bother with them. Get rid of them. Don't just get them off your app. Never put crap into the app. So they've just told you they're a top quality lead. What to do next? There's a bunch of stuff that we talk about. What we recommend you do is get on the phone. It's not something I'll go through in this workshop as to how to do that, because that's all. In fact, maybe I will do a workshop in the future about how to phone these people and where to get their numbers from. And I don't want to spend too much time on that because not everybody wants to jump on the phone this early. Great salespeople get on the phone and they just say, screw it. Somebody's clicked on phoning. Let's do it. Where do they get the number from? There's about a 1 in 5 chance that their phone number will be sitting in here. Thank you again, Rian. All right. In the Chrome extension, because we pulled it from LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn makes this data available. It's also on their own LinkedIn profile. For those of you not using Chrome extension, because I refuse to use the Chrome extension. If you're one of those people, that's fine. Go to their profile, go to their LinkedIn profile and pull their data there. Otherwise, their data is here for you. Okay, it's here. So you can get their phone number. All right. Going back. So now you've got a top quality lead. Now, if you are doing your job right, okay, and you're using the waterfall effect, because then you're going to have message 3, which is also called custom message 1. So it's a bit confusing because custom message 1, basically it goes, number 1, invitation message. Please just mute, please. You're abusing the power of the mute.
Could you just unmute yourself?
I'm back. Cool. Got it. Thank you. So message 1 is the invitation messages. Number 2 is the acceptance message. This is setting it up. And then when you talk about message number 3, now you can start moving into the more personalized and reinforcement. But your goal is to get them to scroll up like the waterfall and click on the link that you put in before. Okay. You want them to click on this tracking link. That's your goal. Your goal is to get them to click on something, because if they click on something, they've read your messages and they have that pain. Oh my goodness, you've just created a hot list of people to deal with. Now you only have to deal with a much smaller number of people, a much more manageable number of people. Someone in my last workshop said, you know, you're lucky if between 3 and 8% of people that you're reaching out to actually need and want your product right now. So how are you going to know who they are? Well, the answer is by checking to see if they click. It doesn't completely solve the problem, but it sure as heck makes it much, much, much easier. Samantha, you wanted to ask a question. I can see you've got a burning desire.
Sorry. I'm just lost. The third message, is this on the assumption that they haven't clicked the link, the tracking link yet? Or
Great.
is the third message, once you've got the boom, now you have a top quality lead?
Ah, wonderful. Thank you for doing that. Sometimes I do scant over this. Okay, this assumes they have not clicked. Once they've clicked, they're now a quality person. And now we go into, now they're in the sales conversion gap. I'm going to go back to this again because there were lots of people who came late to my beloved workshop. How dare thee? How dare thee appear late? However you did, that's cool. Don't worry, I don't take offense. On madstreet.com website, under resources, there's a cute little diagram. In fact, I actually wrote an entire article on this, which is different here. All right, there's this called the sales conversion gap. You've done your connecting. You've actually done enough nurturing if they've clicked. But if they haven't clicked yet, you need to nurture them more with the next message to answer your question, Sam, and the next message and a LinkedIn voice message. And you keep sending them messages gently, gently, gently until they click the bloody link or they reply to you and go, okay, let's have a conversation, which also happens. But now when they click, they are now in the sales conversion gap. They have the pain, guys. They know who you are. They don't see you as a spammy little bugger who's out to push a product down their throats. Now there's techniques of getting them out of the gap. One is to pick up the phone and phone them. If you're really good and confident and really silky sweet, like my majestic voice, then on the phone, then you can phone them and lull them into a true sense of security and make them.
Okay, Scotty, I'm going to stop you there. I think this is really cute, but I want to quickly say something. This is now where people are in the waterfall. So if you're not going to dive into the waterfall via the phone call, you keep doing the messages until it splashes. So I just wanted to tie it back to your waterfall analogy. But you're welcome to put your majestic voice back on, Scotty.
You've ruined the moment. Okay, so does that answer your question? Your goal is to constantly send them drip, drip, drip messages. And there's other stuff. We'll go through this later in more advanced stuff. There's stuff on the madstreet.com website that'll take you through this. And there's lots of free stuff. Or yeah, we can train you on how to do it as well. It's part of our boutique service. David mentioned it in the break. You know, we can actually write content for you. We can even do these like beautiful articles that you've seen in my ebook, you know, that really talk about the pain. Like this, for example, is power. How's this for a captivating one-liner? You think your fleet of trucks is running smoothly until it becomes manslaughter and you and your directors go to jail. These guys sell software and fleet management services and technology around fleet management. You don't talk about fleet management. You use a captivating one-liner to hook them. This just gives you one example of many, many, many. But I want you're making them, you're breaking through the clutter with this powerful message that says, I get your pain, while you are showing them that you are the personal industry expert that goes along. Okay, so you've 1 invitation message, 2 acceptance message, 3 custom message 1, 4 custom message 2, or let's call it custom message 2 or custom message 1 tweet.
Just call them follow-up messages. It's so much easier.
Okay. Queen has spoken. Okay, custom message 1. Okay, or you can tweak them. Right. Okay, so just so you understand. So your goal, right, is to send out the attorney's message. Candidate attorneys in the UK law firms are Gen Zs. You have a problem if you're a 70-year-old partner of a law firm doing things the old way, because Gen Zs are going to give you the middle finger. In fact, you'd say that maybe don't say old partner, as a partner in a UK law firm doing things the old way, Gen Zs are going to give you the middle finger and move on. Okay, I guess that's a bit too hardcore and a bit too in your face, but this is the level of discomfort you've got to meet. Okay, then you could even say, I have just written an article entitled Gen Zs versus old legal, what do you call old fuddy-duddy. Okay, you're not going to use these exact words, but I'm trying to get a point across.
Baby boomer.
Aren't we intelligent? Love that. Old versus old baby boomer partner, law firm partner, for example. Okay, it needs to be rewritten a little bit, but you see, baby boomer wins, for example. Okay, that's the name. So you can come up with this captivating one-liner, and then in your acceptance messages, thank you so much, Legal Mag UK published this, but instead of saying Legal Mag UK published it, you say, I have just published this article, and you put the link to your article. Then when you do the follow-up, right, your follow-up message, let's call it follow-up message, follow-up one, luxury. Then you can use another link that you can say, hi again, name. This article in another magazine, in Forbes, again highlights exactly what I have been saying. There is a problem with UK law firms and Gen Z, blah, 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 blah. Insert link again if you want to. You can have multiple links. You don't only have to have one of them. But what the person's going to do is if you reference, say, I have been saying above. When you say I have been saying above, the waterfall effect kicks in. Because if he or she ignored your first message and ignored your second message, gets your third message, there is a good chance they're going to scroll back up and they're going to reread what they didn't read earlier. And then they're going to click on that link. So you're almost sending these almost nudges and reminders for them to scroll up and read what was written above, because it's all connected. And then you can do message 4 and message 5, and you just tweak and you get personal. Message 4, you can get personal. Like, wow, great background pic. I take it boats. I'm actually watching the America's Cup right now. Okay, so you say something that, because you can see the background pic, the guy likes boats, and now you say I'm watching the America's Cup. Your goal is the waterfall technique. Remember, I went through this with so much diligence in the early sessions. Your goal, you might be thinking, that's a weird message. It doesn't have a call to action. The call to action, right? And you need to thrash this out a bit. The call to action is for each of your messages to encourage the reader to scroll back up and click on the bloody link. When they click on it, now they become a much more powerful lead. That's what you're looking for, because it shows you they have that pain. Lots of people you're going to be messaging don't have that pain. Now you can pre-put these messages and quickly send them in the Chrome extension. So if I want to send Rian a message, I've got custom message 1 already written for me. I just click on it and it builds the message. Hi Rian, I'll fix his name because this happens sometimes. So it's not in capitals because he had his name in capitals before. This piece of research from Forbes proves exactly what I said above. Blah, 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 blah. It search tracking. It builds the message for you. So you don't have to write it. It tracks it. It even puts a tag under Rian's name, which I won't do now. There'll be a tag in there which shows the message has been sent. And like sometimes these little tags will appear now, accepted, invited, etc. And you can use the Chrome extension to actually make reminders, remind you when to follow up, when to send them, and your message is already built and ready to go. So it's so quick and easy. So you can spend your time, valuable time, focusing on personalizing and working with high quality people and building those relationships. Every message that goes out, it doesn't talk about your product. It talks about their pain and positions you as an expert in their pain. Then when you've got to start getting them out of the sales conversion gap, at least you know they're in there in the first place. Let me just stop for a minute and just get some feedback on there. Sheree, is there any feedback or questions that I should look at? There's quite a few.
Sure, yeah, there are quite a few. So I think people are asking, can they do this manually? Do they need to use the extension? How do they create the tracking links? So there's a lot of operational questions that, obviously we can handle in training sessions, or I don't know if you want to answer some of them now. And let me just see. So maybe just go through, maybe just go through some of the ones that I've posted at the bottom up and just see if there's any glaring.
All right. If you see one, just make it bold for me.
Okay.
And then I'll do it. In the meantime, right, what we'll probably do at the end of the session, guys, before like 15 minutes before the end, maybe depending on how much time we have, I'll open another breakout room and you can go back in with Sheree and she'll take you once again and help you guys with the actual day-to-day operations of how to use the Chrome extension itself. All right, how to use this, install it, run it, etc. So we'll do another one at the end. So you guys will have access to that. So I don't want to sort of get bogged down with, it's really easy, but it's only easy when you know.
Yeah, sorry, Scott, I just want to make a caveat. Now, I'm definitely not going to be going through how to run it. There's just too many things. I won't be able to actually go through the nitty-gritty of creating this and doing that and going there, but I can do some tiny basic navigation, but it's more about how to upload the extension, how to access the voucher page, and how to activate it. That's what I'll be focusing on. It's just too much to go into anything more operational.
Cool. Thank you for.
But just very quickly, people do want to know, how do you create the tracking links? So when you are actually in the extension and you go into the settings section and you are now drafting your template, whether it's the acceptance message template or any of the other messages templates that we give you the option to create a template for, this will be handled in the videos and training sessions. It's pretty simple. Once you insert and paste your link in that template, when you send that message to the first person you send it to, it will bring up a little box letting you know, would you like to create a tracking link? So it will actually instruct you and let you know. And then you'll say yes, and you give it a name. And then when you send that message, it stores it, and now it's created a tracking link moving forward for everyone else. So it's very tricky trying to explain all of this now operationally, but as Scott is busy showing you right now as I talk, when you draft the messages, you add the link, it will auto-generate and prompt you to give it a title as you, there we go. As you
Look for the orange box. The orange, you only have to do this one time for each link. See, it says add a tracking link. You click on it, you give it a name, and from that moment on, it'll create a tracking link and it will be tracked. Okay. So I just thought, let's just quickly show you that. So at least it's in there and it's in the recording. But you're right, we don't want to go too much operational. How are you guys feeling about the messaging? Any questions about the messaging and how that works? I'm sure you guys, it's a bit confusing, I think. I don't know. It's hard to gauge because the problem with doing virtual events like this is I don't know how you guys are reacting. Are you bamboozled the hell out of you, or do you understand? Sam's on fire with her questions. Sam, the rest of you, please post questions if you're struggling.
So I'm following up on a question that somebody else posted, which was, firstly, like, how many times do you follow up before the person, before it starts to feel like you're battering them? And then, yeah, the time frame, 14 days. And then what do you, so now you've gone personal and you've said, you know, I see you love shipping. Does it stop there? Do you just go, I see you like shipping, and, you know, I'm watching the America's Cup?
It never stops. Okay. So it never
that
stops.
Message, is that all you say in that message?
It can be, yes.
So it's just a little personal,
yep.
Hi, how are you?
Yep, exactly. And you can interact. It's a little how are you, but it's just a gentle. Don't ask a question. Never say, are you interested in a phone call, or can we hop on a call, or let's chat. Never do that, because the moment you say, can we hop on a call, you've stopped. Everything stops there. They ignore you, and then you look like a fool and desperate if you get back to them. You drip them with messages. but there's other ways. Okay. Example, other ways of messaging. For example, leave a LinkedIn voice message. You can leave a LinkedIn voice message? You can. I'm going to highlight this because it's important. You can leave a LinkedIn voice message, for example. One of the best things you can do, invite them to an event. Now, we're quite good at doing that. As you probably noticed, there's like 300 people. Well, there's a few less now. It's like just under 200. But at the beginning of this, there's 300 people that attended and thousands that want the actual recording. So you create an event, but you've got to build them up a little bit first, ideally. So if you invite them to an event, here's something really interesting, a cool piece of insight. And I bet you there's probably still people on now, and they were definitely at the beginning of the workshop when I first started. There are really powerful people, right, with great companies that don't want a one-on-one call with you, but they want to know if you're really good and you are who you say you are. And if you invite them to an event, they're not going to go on video. They're probably not going to make anything in the chat. They're going to sit quietly into the beginning of your event, and they will know within 5 minutes if you're the right person for them. And do you know something, guys? For those of you who were in breakout rooms, if you watch the recording of what I was doing in my little session, and for those of you who were in during the breakout room, David came on. I don't know if David is still on. I'm guessing he's not. David came on and goes, you know what, Scotty, I just want to know how to do this. I want you to do it all for me. He's probably not going to, I don't know, David, are you still there? I'm guessing he's probably not because he doesn't want to stay on. Top people will decide within minutes whether they want to work with you, and they will contact you, and then you book the appointment. So David goes, listen, I just want you to do this for me. I'm really excited about the prestige, the £500 a month option. Let's get in touch. What's your email address? Great, done. Doom. Do you see that? Does that answer your question, Sam? So what you can do is you can invite them to an event or create a short video. That also helps. The problem with people doing short videos is they try to be like Tom Cruise or, I'm sorry, that's very flippin' old, hey. I don't know, who's Zach? No, Zac Efron's even old. I don't know who's young.
Ariana Grande, maybe.
No, thank you. So you try to be all like over the top, or you're embarrassed in front of the camera. So what you got to do when you do a video is no one cares how great you are as an actor. They don't care how smooth you are. They just want to know, are you authentic? I know when you come across that, I know what you're going through. And keep the video, if it's a video, specific to them. I know what you're going through. This is the problem. This is the pain. And that's what will get you to, this will get them smiling. You go, you know what? This person's actually quite good. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to reach out to you from a video. That doesn't happen very often. But when you start to be, after the 5th or 6th or 7th, 8th message, and you're getting further down the line, and you start saying, maybe I'm just going to pick up the phone. Maybe I'm going to send a personal message. They're much more likely to reply and get into a conversation with you. And it's one step closer to getting them out of that sales conversion gap.
I might actually have a gift for everyone who would like it. A document that goes through a whole lot of this with a whole lot of templates and examples. So I'm thinking about whether I should share it.
I thought only paying customers get access to this.
I know. I'm thinking about it. Let's see how the rest of the session goes.
Right. Well, the Queen can
basically,
decide.
guys, when I take my clients through this kind of training session, and Sam, to answer your question a little bit more, what's the word, correctly, is sometimes it can take 6 to 8 iterations of reaching out to people. And it's always a soft kind of approach for the first 4 to 6 messages where you're ratifying the statements that you've made. There are different types of avenues on how you can get to what are the messages that you're going to write. And I go through some examples in the document I might share with you guys. And then secondly, you ratify what you're saying in different types of platforms. So if you reach out to them first in LinkedIn and you don't hear back from them, then you email them the next week. And if you don't hear back from them, after that, then maybe you leave the voice message, but you will always be kind of repeating the same message, ratifying your first sentiment that you originally became a little bit more personal on. And then as you get closer to like maybe your 6th or 8th outreach after about 6 weeks, whatever it is, you can start to become a little bit harder. and say, okay, listen, I really would like to sit down and have a chat with you. Does next week work? Or you could start getting a little bit more forceful. It all depends on your personality. Some people like to pick up the phone nearly straight away. Maybe you want to start off with LinkedIn voice messages because they really, really are effective. So there are lots of different techniques that you can look at. But I assure you, these people are sitting there and watching and listening, and something will click. And when they're ready, either they will reach out to you, or when you reach out to them, they will be way more receptive. I had one of my best meetings I've ever had was reaching out to someone, not because I even mentioned about their pain necessarily. And even though I did a whole lot of research, I was just very lucky. I came across a video they made, and it was a gentleman who was talking about male mental health in the UK, and how, you know, men are actually much more vulnerable than they are made out to be or allowed to actually show. And he made a video on that, and I thought it was really profound and beautiful. And I commented just on that. And that is what got me to get in front of him in the comfy chair with the guy, because he so appreciated that I took the time. And to be granted, I didn't listen to the whole video, but I liked what he was doing and how it was reaching out to other people. So there are lots of ways and techniques that you can find to outreach to people to try and get them to respond back. And if something doesn't work, then you try another kind of approach. If you want to start becoming a bit more direct, start becoming a bit more direct. You play around with it. You will get the feel as you go along with that 150 people that eventually you'll be talking to throughout the course of the year that you're forging this relationship with. You'll become very savvy and you'll know what to say and when to say it. It's just diligence now. So you need to know the 6 people you're working on every week that you're following up with for the next 6 to 8 weeks, however long it's going to take before you make that call. Am I banking them? Am I putting them in file 13? You'll start to be really good at knowing how to talk to these people. And that's as best as I can do right now.
Yeah, thank you, Cherie. That's awesome. And there's a lot of these questions that I hope you guys are watching. I'm updating the notes and the questions as we go along. This is quite a good one. Should you have everything, basically, should you have everything ready with your blog article and all that kind of stuff, and then the messages and things? Don't let anything stop you. Start by reaching out to people now. You're going to get people responding just from your first message. Then the second, you should at least have your first invitation and acceptance message. Get it going. I mean, one of the services that we offer is we'll log into your LinkedIn profile for you 3 days a week and send your invitation and acceptance messages for you. That's all. And leave it there. You then log in, you know, every now and again to LinkedIn, and you just start the next stage that we're showing you now. You can do the next. We can even do a third message for you. The problem is only you can do the personalization and really get to know these people. You can't automate it all. You can automate a lot of it and get you close to the way. But if you're not going to be proactively involved in this, it will fail. So it's really important to know that. But we can get you so close. Like, we might not necessarily get you an appointment, but every now and again that does happen. I have to be honest, especially when you've got when you're scaling, which I'm going to talk about at the end, when you duplicate your LinkedIn profile. So it's possible, but you need to be part of that. Asking for a friend. Oh, okay. You legitimately wasn't able to join. My friend obtained a real estate license and is trying to promote their work on LinkedIn and other social media platform and trying to find ways to attack clients. What tip can you give? I think we all know the tip here. Tell him or her to watch the replay of this workshop. There we go. Cool. I'll get to all these other questions later because I will answer them all and I'll keep going. But I want to just check that you guys aren't any specific questions. Done. Cherie, just let me know if there's anything else. Should the pain you mention should the pain you mentioned be the pain you can address with the product you offer, or is the pain?
I've already answered that. I've already answered that.
All right, cool. All right, good. Is nothing else that's glaringly important, Cherie? It's just kind of hard to keep going through anything here. Let's quickly see where we're at so I don't lose my track. So you guys, if you want to go right now and take your invitation message, just go out and invite a bunch of people. It doesn't have to be 30. You can do 5 if you want to. Just try it. Go out there now and do the search. Let me show you how to do a quick LinkedIn search. Okay, let's do a quick LinkedIn search for you. I'm going to use this one. And show you. Now, LinkedIn's ordinary search over here is quite good. You do not need Sales Navigator or LinkedIn Premium. This works beautifully on the free version, right? Rather, pay us the money that you would have spent on Sales Navigator and let us get your messaging right or something like that. Because without the messaging, you can use whatever powerful tools you want. You're going to get nowhere. If you want to spend money on Sales Navigator, it's worth it if you have a very niche target audience. Otherwise, free version works beautifully, guys. It really does. So often get that question. So you can use the free one. So amazingly, right, this little thing doesn't work too badly, your LinkedIn search. So if you go CEO construction company, it actually, and click people, you get okay results actually. Okay, here's CEO at construction company, but president CEO at PC construction, CEO at Efficacy Construction Company, Chief Executive Officer at Liable Construction Company, CEO of Construction EPA Company, Low Carbon Academy, etc. Chief Executive Officer at Limit. These are good people. So this is a basic search, and there's a basic search. Now remember, guys, if you're using the Chrome extension, you click connect, your message will come up. All right, I'm not going to, don't worry about my message. That's just an example. But your message is already written for you. So it's super easily, or you can go to their profile and you can click connect with there and it'll pop up again. Our Chrome extension will write the message for you. But these are pretty good quality people, right? This URL at the top is called a search URL. It's called a search URL. Now you can take this URL and paste it. Before I do, let me make a slightly stronger search. And I'm going to give you a quick tip. You can say minus recruitment. You want to avoid reaching out to recruitment companies because there's a lot of recruitment companies on here. And, you know, if you're looking for CEOs of construction companies, you might end up connecting with recruitment agents who specialize in CEOs of construction companies. So to avoid that, you can put minus recruitment. You go to people, all filters. Tip for you, always do second degree first. LinkedIn really likes you connecting with second degree first. Please make a note in the chat, Cherie, in the notes. You can only invite, well, roughly a maximum of 100 invitations, new invitations per week, per LinkedIn profile. So make them count, but 100 is still plenty that you can use. So you've got 100. LinkedIn really prefer it if you use second degree. So always do your second degree first. Then you can choose past companies. You can choose industries. It's construction. Okay. I find construction is an industry. And then I can do job title, CEO or chief executive. Now, the results of this are better than the one that I did earlier. But for those who are not very technically literate, you can just literally type it in there and then you can just be diligent on who you connect with, but it'll still work great. And I show results. And there they are. So you can become really, really niche. And this is why I say to people, be niche, be specific. You can change it later, but be specific. Now, once you've got your URL, your web address, under your target and sales funnel tab, under settings, under search URL, you can just paste it in there. Just paste it in there, click the tick, and there it is. Now, you don't have to do the search every time you want to do a search. All you do is you go to target and sales funnel and push the invite button. It will bring you back to this page. There's another cool feature. After weeks and weeks of inviting people, you can be on page 8, 10, 15, 20. You forget what page you're on. This little button over here will remember the page that you last visited from a search. So you can pick up where you left off. These are what we're doing. We're not just creating a Chrome extension that helps you measure and organize your LinkedIn. We're also helping you do things a bit quicker in a more effective way. Now you've noticed that it's not automation. This is not an automation tool. You still got to click connect. You still got to edit your message. You still got to click send. But when you do, it builds your pipeline for you. And that's the bit that I want to get across. It's organizing and makes it super quick for you guys to be able to do that. Okay, so going back now, because even now I'm starting to get a bit more me, talking too much about my product, which I love. Let's go back to the messages and make sure we've done everything we need to do. Please keep posting questions. Cherie, keep an eye out for great questions. I'll get back to them in a minute. Take a sip of water. Like Bill Gates, have you guys always noticed whenever Bill Gates does an interview, his coach basically is demanded that he never answers a question without taking a sip of water, especially a difficult sip of water, a difficult question. It's hilarious. He wants to answer that question and come out firing, and then he goes, and then he picks up and he drinks his water with this angry face, and then he breathes and he goes, and then he carries on speaking. It's hilarious. Good trick though. Duplicating, okay, the global reseller network. Cherie, would you mind pasting a link to the Telegram group, but it's actually in the session document itself. It's in here, the agenda. We're creating a global reseller network. If you want to become a reseller of this product and you want to, and our services, please join our next event and join our Telegram group. Cherie will put the details in there. Duplicating yourself. Once you've done the messages for yourself, you can then create custom networks. This is the most beautiful thing about what we do, is the ability to switch between custom networks and create them. In other words, if you create one for your own company, let's take, for example, LinkedIn Like a Legend, which is why you're here. A whole bunch of people that I know who wanted to help me market this event and make it successful spent 1.5 minutes installing the Chrome extension and installing LinkedIn Like a Legend and connecting to LinkedIn Like a Legend. When they did that, all the messages were built for them in the settings. It was all done for them. They don't have to go and add settings. They don't have to do this workshop, anything. All they did was they simply installed it and started what I call FPP. Follow the process, princess. And I say that to all my clients, everyone I deal with. If you want this to be successful, just FPP. Follow the process, princess. Just follow the freaking process. And all they did was they opened and they started messaging people, connecting with them. I wrote the messages for them. I did everything. And I duplicated myself. So if I'm all on my lonesome, lonely. Okay, if you're alone, where's my little notes? Right. Let's put a new little stack of bullet points here. Okay. If you are alone with your LinkedIn profile, you can 2x, 5x, 10x yourself by duplicating your approach and getting other people to help you. They can be your husband, wife, nephew, family member, anyone who just says, you know what, I'll give you 50 quid beer money, 20 quid beer money for the month if you spend 15 minutes a day, 2 or 3 days a week, helping me market on LinkedIn. Just follow the process. That's all done for them. It could be your team, sales team, or if you don't have a sales team, it could be anyone else. It could be your admin team, anyone else. During the break, I talked about this to somebody in our, when I was chatting. He actually had a chat with him. He's got a team of 5 people. So I said, why not just get those 5 people to use LinkedIn profiles and help you market? It's a cheap and effective way of reaching out on LinkedIn. It can be a team. You can hire a VA. You can use your existing friends business network. There's some really great business networking groups out there, guys. There's a couple of them. CIBN is a great one. Explore ProTech, Nestine. I think if Nestine or Peter, if you guys are on this, post a link to the chat. Also recognize there's a great one out of Australia that I'm with called Connect Collaborative. It's actually not a networking group, it's a network building group. So you can actually form these communities of people around you where they actually help you and they grow you. Because like I said before, guys, the numbers are too high. You can't do this on your own. You can't. So going back to your LinkedIn search, you've done your LinkedIn search, you've pasted it, and now you can just go and start connect. And the Chrome extension will keep everything for you. Cool. It'll manage it and it'll do it. Okay. So it's going to help you so much. We've done the acceptance messages now. Do you guys understand the acceptance message? Are there any questions about that message flow? Cherie, anything burning on that? from a question perspective?
Not that I can pick up right now. I'm just quickly going through all the questions. I'm trying to update the sheet.
If you weren't too careful accepting invites, should you go through and delete? Ah, yes. These are great questions, guys. Yes, get rid of them. If you did invites that aren't that great, delete them. Yes, absolutely.
So Scotty, this might be a good time to explain that the extension can help you with withdrawals.
Oh, with the withdrawals. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so link for those of, yeah, let me do that quickly. There's a cute new little feature, right, called withdraw invitations. Now, what happens is if I go to my network right now, it's moved now though. I don't know how you've got to get it via somewhere else. I'm going to use it to show you. But anyway, if I go to my connections, these are the connections that I've got, right? There's a whole bunch of invitations that I've made that haven't accepted my LinkedIn invitations, and they're months old. LinkedIn doesn't like that. So watch this. I can click withdraw invitations. It's going to withdraw the oldest invitations first. I'll just do 5 for now, but I can put 100 in there, and I click withdraw. What it's going to do, there's 816 old people that have not accepted my connections yet. Some of them are months old. Okay, I'm just letting it do its thing. It's going and it's withdrawing my connections for me and keeping them tidy. So you're keeping your LinkedIn profile tidy without hundreds and hundreds of, well, you will always have a few hundred, but not thousands of old LinkedIn connections that are months old. So LinkedIn doesn't like it. They want you to keep your profile tidy. And this cute little button will help you do that. I hope you guys are saying on the chat, wow, that is flipping amazing. That is worth, I'm buying it right. Where do I buy it right now? Where $20, I'm buying a voucher. I'm buying a year's worth. I'm buying a year's worth of voucher now, just for that one feature. Anyway, we'll talk about conversation circles another time, but I'm glad you guys are checking this stuff out. Yeah, it shows you guys are diligent. I'm loving it. The app tour, don't use the app tour so much. MyMostTrusted.net, go to mymosttrusted.net. All right. And you can get the app, and then there'll be a breakout room at the end of this. Cherie will take you through the Chrome extension again, for those of you who didn't make it to the previous breakout room. So wait till the end and hop onto that breakout room and learn more about the extension itself. I'll help you with this egg just now. Let's just keep seeing if there's anything else. First degree. Yes. Thank you. Right. Okay. First degree connections. You guys have first degree connections, and they're usually quite good. The same process applies, just tweaked a little differently. So you do the same thing. You look for CEO of a construction company, whoever your target audience is. This time, when you do people, you search first degree. Okay, first degree only. I've got 7 of them. It's a very specific thing, and I probably could make that search better. All right, these are all these people here are first degree connections. Now, I don't need to invite them with the invitation message I've created, but I want to send them the acceptance message with the link to the Forbes article or the captivating one-liner. So how do I do that? I just go to Richard. He's first degree. He's in LinkedIn. He's not in my extension yet. I probably put him under new acceptances. Yeah, and I use the plus button. See that plus button? I click the plus button. What it's done now is it's pulled Richard out of LinkedIn and put him into my separate and more powerful database. His photograph will appear. It just got to be refreshed, but his photo is in there. Now I can push this button, send acceptance message. It builds the acceptance message, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to send him that at all. That's my LinkedIn Like a Legend stuff. So clearly I'm not going to send it to that. Once that message goes out, it automatically moves it down to the next tab. And as Cherie will explain, you can rename these. Your goal is to move them from the top to the bottom. And now you've just added your first degree. Now I go back again and I do the next first degree, Ricky Hope. Okay, and I do the same with Ricky. I go to new acceptances, I push the plus button, and I add Ricky. There we go. Now I've got Ricky Richard. So what I'm doing is I'm working with my first degree, skipping the invitation, but still sending them the acceptance message, but I might want to tweak that. Okay, I might want to tweak that later. Cool, guys. Making sense? I can see there's a lot of activity on the chat. Sorry. Yes, Beverly, there's nothing in the Telegram channel yet. It's coming. It's new. Okay. Let me just close that down now. And open up. Go back here. All right. So that's how you do your first degree contacts. Getting your search URL ready. Been through that. Checking for responses from the invitations that you sent. Okay, so if you guys have done anything and you start getting, here's my notes, and you start getting responses coming in. Sometimes you get a thumbs up or a thanks, etc. Unless it's a question or something specific, wait until they click the article, the link, before carrying on. Okay. So you want to wait for them to click. A lot of people just say thanks and they don't even bother reading your article or don't even bother clicking. That's useless. Absolutely waste of time. Wait until they click or actually do something to do that. If they start responding with a bit of questions or conversation, bang, let's go. Now you're in a conversation, and you want to try and get them into a obviously off there onto a call as quickly as possible. But yes, just try and get into a conversation with them. Most of your sales conversions and your closes are going to come from when you do things like when you've got a nice big database and you've got to do things like an event, or you start to really get personalized down the line. That's where you'll get your majority from the success from. This is the waterfall, and you're just building the relationship and waiting for them to click that link so you know they've got that pain. Pipeline and follow-up. I don't know if the Queen Cherie is going to give you guys some information on that. We've got lots of stuff, but there is a lot of stuff on our website under madge3.com for your building your pipeline and following up. And from super cool features perspective, I've shown you how to withdraw the old invitations. I've shown you how to get notified on the tracking link. Okay, so if I go to, let me open this one again, go to LinkedIn again.
I've put all of these links into our notes, and I did add the present.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Don't tell them where it is. Just tell them that it's on the notes page so that we'll have to go to the notes to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can actually see what they've clicked on. There's reminders that are due, everything. So it can help you with your reminders. Just be diligent. If you put it in your diary and you're super diligent, then you'll fly. Inviting people to events. Events are amazing. Look at this event that I've done now, 300 people. I nearly had to phone Zoom or contact Zoom to increase my 300 limit. We were very close to that. I'm not sure if we hit it today. But events are great. Your community helps you grow your events and will help you build your database and give you referrals. People around you. So you can hire virtual assistants. So we have a whole team of virtual assistants. So if you want to hire a VA, then we have VAs available for you. So that's another one of the services that we offer. So if you want a virtual assistant, we can help you. Now, the great thing about virtual assistants is they can help you grow. They're very, very good for events, for helping them grow your events. And they do it in two ways, but watch this. If you go to LinkedIn, wait, maybe it's LinkedIn. I wonder if LinkedIn has turned this off. Do we still have our event? I hope I can demo this because
overdue.
Because no, LinkedIn removes them when it's done. Okay, so we created an event on LinkedIn, right? Check, lots of attendees. So we've got like 300 attending, which is not bad. And a lot of these other people want the replay, so they apologize. And we've got their data, the database. So we're going to email all of these people the replay afterwards. I mean, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. Now watch what happens. How do you get people to an event? This invite button. Now, this is our extension noticing that you're trying to invite people. So get people in your business network, or like I said, virtual assistants, or your nephew, whoever it's going to be, to go to their LinkedIn profile and help you invite people to your events. I'm going to cancel that for now, because what they normally have to do is have to sit there scrolling down. Scroll, 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 scroll. Text. It's just a pain in the ass. Okay. So what this extension will do is it'll scroll for them. So I'm going to choose, let's say I choose there South Africa and United Kingdom. And I say show results. Yes, go. It's now, see, it's doing it for me. It's now scrolling down. Have a cup of organic herbal tea while you wait. And I can sit back and come back later. 17. Just keeps waiting for people who are available. Oh yeah, that's a little glitch that's fixed in the next version. There, that's right now. I don't know why it's switching between the two there. But it is working. It will work when it stops. And I click stop. It's now, okay, I only found 11, that's why. And here they all are. It's found those new ones, and I can just click invite to invite them. So these are things, this is where we are making the extension really help you guys and speed up your LinkedIn, but not turning it into this horrible bot. The problem with bots is there's too much. They lack personalization. You really have to know what you're doing. What we've tried to do is avoid bots and create something that is still semi-manual, but speeds up everything and will measure everything as you go along. And that's where you really want to play, in this community marketing advocation and enlisting an article, an army of virtual assistants. This is where you can literally build it, have everything ready for them, and they can install it onto their LinkedIn profiles, and they use their LinkedIn profiles to use messaging that you've approved. You can follow the tracking links. It will even pull the data into a separate database for you. So once again, for those guys who are a bit more technical, I can literally go in and I can say, for example, LinkedIn like a legend. And I can see Rian, I showed him earlier. You can see, I can see all the work Rian did to help me build my event. Adele, she's invited 471 people, 231 accepted her LinkedIn invitation message. She sent 185 acceptance messages. She can see 37 people clicked. It even tracks the click-throughs. I don't want to go into too much details about this, guys, but this is like where things get amazing. You build a community of people around you to help your business grow, and it's quick and easy, like super. But if you don't want to do that, that's also fine. You can just do it yourself, build it, and make the magic happen. So we're now getting on to questions. It's basically, we basically finished the workshop from a workshop perspective. I want to go through these questions, help a few little people out. And let's say I'm going to do a few minutes of questions, and then I'm going to open the breakout room again.
Scott, I was actually thinking maybe we don't need to go into breakout room. What do you think? Can't we just handle it here, or do you think it is?
Okay, that's a good idea.
So
okay,
rather let's just do all the questions, and then yeah, let's just rather
stay on for the magic. Cool. All right,
yeah,
let's
we don't
go
need to. I mean, look, obviously people have seen some of the really cool stuff that the extension can do. And, you know, guys, obviously right at the beginning, we couldn't explain everything off the bat because it's just too much. So as you know, they're awesome things. Like, thank you, Keith Grover. Yes. Oh my God. It is. Oh my effing God. It's awesome. So yeah, guys, let's get to these questions.
Okay. So I've done this. I'll just skip them if I've done it. I think I've answered that a lot. You just follow the process. Your second and third degree collections, just start a bit lower down on the waterfall, but the same process. You might tweak the wording a little bit. And remember, guys, I've only given you overall examples. But if you've actually done your invitation message and sent a whole bunch of invitations out, you might already have got responses. I'd be interested to know if anyone's done that. You can post on the chat if you've actually got responses while you've been in here. Presentation slides, that's all this is going to be sent out to you, will be emailed to you guys. So look out for your email. Once again, please give us a 5-star rating. It'll really, really help that on the way to access the Chrome extension is to go to www.mymosttrusted.net. It'll just redirect you here. Click on download browser extension where you install the Chrome extension. And then under reviews, you can give us a 5-star rating. That would really, really help me, guys. Really helps us a lot. Back to questions. Can you also tell us a recent graduate where I have been messaging some people. Oh, I did that already. The job one, sales targets for the year ×5. Oh, that's actually a note. Cherie, why don't you just take this line and move it up to the notes? I accidentally put it there. Question, is it worth buying Sales Navigator? No, you don't need Sales Navigator. Rather spend, if you're going to spend any money on LinkedIn, spend it with us, helping you get frigging amazing messages and a captivating one-liner done. Is it worth, if you do not talk about your product or service, your goal is to build trust and credibility for your own person. Oh, this is my note again. Sorry, Cherie, this is, sometimes I accidentally put my notes here, so she'll just organize that. What methodology can you use to measure success, and how do you handle disappointments, lack of sales, low morale? Well, I hope I've already answered that question with the Kung Fu stuff and the waterfall and the chicken and the egg. You've got waterfall, chickens, and eggs to help you. People are reading your messages if they're not spammy. They are reading them. They are actually paying attention to you. Not necessarily much attention. Your goal is just to keep on diligence, 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 diligence. Okay, that's your key word here. All right, this is absolutely your key word is diligence. Follow the process, princess, FPP. Just keep going. Don't sound desperate. Drip them with content that shows you are an expert in their specific pain. Everybody, guys, give up after 2 or 3 messages. They always do it. They'll send you a spam message and maybe one follow-up. That's it, done. You need to send 7 or 8, 9, 10 messages over a period of weeks and months. It takes time. So I want you guys to understand that. But the most important thing is you are keeping your personal and industry reputation at an all-time high. You are not a spammer. You are an expert. You are a specialist or expert in what you do. You must keep this across, guys. You must maintain that. You are great at what you do, and you need to keep that process going. Yes, your product is incredible and amazing. That will come later. But what this is about getting them those key points.
Cody, just before, some people need to leave shortly. They want to know about costs. Where can they find costs?
If you want to know about our products, please send me a message. scott@madge3.com. Okay, Scott, Cherie will post it in the chat. Email me and I'll send you the cost and pricing, okay, for all of the different package options. Right, so if you do need to go. And then in a few minutes, Cherie will take over and she'll start talking about the Chrome extension for those who want to stay on and go into more detail there. How do you get people out of LinkedIn into a CR? Oh, great question. Cherie will answer this later. 2 ways. 1, via export as a .csv. For those of you who want to export your email addresses and you want them somewhere else, if you go to the thing here, go to your target and sales funnel in the Chrome extension, scroll down to reports, you can export your database. Okay. Number 1 is a CSV. 2, if you're technical, we have an API. Talk to us from a technical perspective around that.
Or number 3, you can use ours in full service.
Okay. So you guys can, it's a long piece of string. You guys can just use us to messages and do everything yourself, or we can do everything for you. How do you manage quantity over quality? Often find due to corporate pressures, it becomes more quality driven and not quantity driven and not quality. We are being measured on quantity of leads per week. Okay. Well, firstly, you can do both. Secondly, to show numbers. invite 100 people a week, and you can show this in your sales meetings. Easy. Secondly, ignore the cheap idiots and focus on high quality sales. Okay, so you'll have all of them in your system. You'll have the quantity in your Chrome extension if you measured on that, but you only spend time on quality. Can I give an example of the egg that worked for you? You're sitting in one right now, like Cherie says, but the egg that works for me, right, is I offer a 90-minute captivating one-liner workshop. To set up all your messages for you. Not all. Okay, that's my egg. So people can go, I don't know if I want to spend £500 or, you know, £800 a month with Scott yet. So how do I get started? Just book a captivating one-liner session with me. We'll give you, we'll nail that. We'll come up with your messaging and we'll come up with that one line that breaks through the clutter. You can decide, I'll do this myself. Or actually, yeah, Scott's a pretty good guy and his team are pretty awesome. I'm happy to take them on commission. Other products that we offer are much cheaper than that. So you can, for example, we can set up the messaging for you, or you can do your own messaging, but we can get your app set up, your extension set up. We can create custom networks for you. All of that stuff we can do as well. Is it a Trojan egg? You wrote that. Well done. I like that. That's super cool. If you have maxed out your first degree limit, well, oh my goodness. Okay. You need a new LinkedIn profile. Yeah, you can remove first degrees if you want to invite the new second and third degree. What a pain in the bum. Yeah, you can go and unconnect with them. That is a time-consuming process. Honestly, just get a new LinkedIn profile and run them.
Or if you've got 30,000 people, within the 30,000, surely you'll have a couple of thousand that are actually in your demographic. You just add them to the app and message them that way. You just obviously don't invite them, but you can add them directly to, I wouldn't even say already accepted, to high quality leads, and just add all the people. You can actually create a list as if you're looking at a search list. In your network, you do your filters, you go to all the people in your 30,000 that are the people that you want to reach out to again personally, add them to the extension, have your messages ready and manage it that way. And like Scott said as well, delete people you don't want to be connected with anymore. But yeah, you can still manage those people with the extension. Nothing stopping you using that for that.
Yeah, good point. But for new people, you're going to need a new one though, so you use them both. Good answer. If job seekers are your target audience, what industry should one select? Okay, well, I can't answer that without knowing more about the business. I need to know much more about the business to answer that. I need to know what type of job seekers are you looking for, etc. It's a slightly different approach with job seekers, but the same principle actually does apply. Because you want to build relationships with them, but that's much quicker and easier. And you want to get them off LinkedIn and onto filling out a form as quickly as possible. How do I set a target audience if I run two companies at two different spectrums? All right, that's what you will create. Okay. You will learn to create two different custom networks. Segments, databases within the extension, and switch between them. This is so powerful. This is what I showed you here, switch network. You can switch between them. Most of you will only ever use one, so it doesn't have to be that complicated, but there's a couple for you. You see, I can switch between them and all the messaging changes everything. So when I'm targeting LinkedIn experts around the world, I use this. When I change that, I'm promoting my event, I use this. I switch between them. I'm selling a service in South Africa, HR and tax administration. What can my egg be? Easy. Okay. What you do is offer them some kind of very specific audit but small. Something that takes you just a couple of hours to perform. Charge for it and get to know the client while you do it. Okay, so I don't know much about tax services, but you could go and say, listen, let me just do a quick overview report that specifically will show you, that will give you a PAYE or a staff rating, or anything like that. So find a service, find any service that you can perform, that you can charge for, that ideally it should require you presenting it back to them. Don't just email it. All right. So in other words, what you want to do is you want to spend as much time, physical one-on-one time with people as possible, because that's how you get to know them, especially the decision makers. So you lay your egg, you do your little tax, whatever you've come up with. I can't do that for you. I don't know your industry. And you say, it's going to cost you 5,000 Rand or 2,000 Rand. I'm going to give you a quick analysis, and then I'm going to present it back to you. That's your egg done.
Samantha's got her hand up.
Yes, Sam.
Okay. I think she's drinking.
Sorry, it wouldn't let me unmute.
Oh.
So, Scott, this is where it sounds like I'm kissing up. But if you could scroll up to your own egg for a moment that you typed in.
Did I type that? Where? I can't remember.
You will learn to create 2 different custom networks. Oh, no. I offer a workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so maybe I didn't understand, but your first lesson was don't talk about yourself and what you offer in the egg. Am I missing that?
No, that's
So
not the egg.
shouldn't your egg be?
No, your egg is your product, but it's a scaled down
Okay.
version of your product.
Your message is where you don't talk about yourself.
No. So your messages that are going out on LinkedIn are all about the pain. But in the back of your mind, what you're thinking is, I'm not trying to sell them a product. I'm trying to lay an egg. So where the art comes in is, when do you offer the egg? That would be the better question. When do you offer the egg? While you're in the service mode, while you're in messaging mode. When do you offer that?
It's after they contact you.
After that, first of all, definitely after they've clicked on your article. Then what you do is you try to get on a call with them, or you try to start messaging, or you try to get a conversation going. Then when you're chatting to them, then you offer your egg.
So your egg is what might be called the value proposition.
Yes.
No. Your value proposition is etheric. Your egg is physically a product. I'm going to enter your company, and I'm going to spend 3 hours for 2,000 Rand, and I'm going to give you this. It's literally something. I'm going to our furniture. It's a bit difficult. Let me come into your house and look over your house, and for 500 Rand, and let me see what best furniture is for you. I'm just clutching.
It's a low ticket offer, like Nestine said. And Samantha, I gave you the present. You can get it in the document, and it's in the chat. So there's a lot of stuff in that document. It'll take you through the captivating one-liner. It'll show you how to tie in the egg in your messaging and everything. So guys, you're welcome. It's a fantastic template. It took me months to create, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the egg thing is, but that's a low ticket item that will allow you to go in there. So it's something you're going to charge for, and something you're actually going to do. What is the maximum number of reach outs you can do in a day? We recommend 30 a day, max 100 per week. If you weren't too careful accepting invites, should you go through and delete, or just remove them and forward to refine connections? Delete. Never put crap into the app. Okay. Don't be scared to delete people. Don't be scared at all. Poppy, I've done. A conversation circle, that's for another time. I think I've done them all, haven't I? If you weren't too careful about it, you've done that. Oh, personal or business profile. Personal profile, guys. If you have a company profile on LinkedIn, that's fine. It's just for credibility purposes. You don't use it for our methodology. Personal profile all the way. This is about you.
No, it's about them. And
Oh,
you
yeah, sorry. Yeah,
human.
this workshop is about you. No, it's a good point. Yeah, how do I say that? It's still
it's about a human reaching out to another human, not a company brand trying to be human. Scotty, there's a question right at the bottom that I added. There's a Gen Z who would like a little bit of help, who's a qualified PR graduate. I don't know if you have time to go into that.
Okay. Please, can you give an example of an invitation message for someone who is a qualified public relationship PR graduate? Okay, so you're a PR graduate. What are you looking for though? Like, what is your overall, are you looking for a job?
Yes, I'm looking for a job.
All right, so you're looking for a job. Sure. Okay, so let's take it into the, let's go through the process. So you've got to first identify the companies you want to work for.
Okay, I've done that.
Okay. Then you reach out with a message that speaks about something to do with PR. In your case, the South African context. Okay. In other words, I don't want you to show them this. This is so important. Sure, this is a good one. You don't tell them they can see that in your profile. They will respect you for reaching out in an innovative way that tackles a broader problem. Okay, so what you do is when you reach out to them, you go, the problem with PR in South Africa in construction companies is that construction companies have a really bad name and reputation at the moment. Or the problem with PR firms at the moment is PR is getting too focused on social media and not enough focus on actual traditional PR. How the heck did this happen? It's all I pushed a button and it's flipping lost the plot here. Wow, sorry guys. I have no idea what just happened. If I refresh, does it help? Does anyone know how I fixed this? Did I drag something across? Sorry, I'll get back to you now. It's just, I think this is on, I don't know if it's on my sheet or is it on.
You're ruining the rest of the sheet for everyone else.
I don't know what I did, guys. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to fix this.
I don't know what you did. Something about margins. I don't know.
Are you trying to fix the size?
Yeah, okay, guys, we'll have to fix this later. Sorry, I don't want to. We're almost done, and Cherie's got to move on. I don't know what I did.
Try your escape.
Yeah, why don't you just Control Z? Scott, what happens if you Control Z?
No, then I'm undoing stuff that I wrote earlier.
No, not just yet. Just Control Z once.
No, it's not working.
Okay.
Oh man, okay, that's weird. What is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to find them to mute them.
I don't know if they're laughing or they having a stroke. I don't know. Okay, so you don't tell them that you're a PR graduate. You tell them about something. The problem with PR at the moment is it's too social media focused, not enough traditional PR. And one of the biggest issues I'm facing with PR at the moment, you can even, if you have to say as a graduate, but you don't have to. One of the main issues in South Africa with PR at the moment is that the media are now charging for sponsored content instead of actually promoting great content themselves. The game has changed. This is an industry problem that we can discuss. Does that answer your question? That's how you reach out to them. They will then go onto your LinkedIn profile and they'll go, wow, this kid is awesome. Really innovative, really different.
Can I just then quickly, last thing, because then the way I was doing it, I was approaching people within the company, right, on their LinkedIn pages, right? And then I would say, I really love some of the stuff you've done, right? And I'm love to connect more, right? And that's how I was trying to get myself to get a foot in the door within their that company, right?
Yeah.
So with your approach, are you then saying I should then be approaching the LinkedIn company page that I'm looking to work at, and then approach them or send a message to that profile company?
Not to the
No.
company. You've got to find people in that company that are responsible for hiring. And if there's more than one of them, do it to all of them. You reach out to them one by one and you connect with them like I've shown you in this workshop. Connect with them, build them as part of your connections, and say,
Okay.
you know, as a PR agency, I think there's some problems with the industry in South Africa at the moment. I'd be interested to get your views, because clearly that, you know, companies are no longer just giving free content away. That sort of thing. Do you see the difference? Connect with them personally.
Okay, cool. So Scotty, sorry, I need to move us along a bit because we've got someone else putting their hand up, as well as Mpo, and Ernestine very graciously offered for you to connect with her. So look in the chat to help you. So Kayla, you had a question? Your hand is up. And then guys, after we'll just do one more question, and then I think let's go back to the agenda of the extension and the vouchers. Kayla.
Sure, we'll take over to finish off. Yeah. Kayla.
Yes, thank you very much, and good afternoon. I just have a question because I appear to be an odd one out. I'm an academic actually, and I would want to do some research. Can I then use LinkedIn to reach out to potential survey respondents and interview participants?
Easy. Well, it's easy if you know who the participants are. So you reach out to them on LinkedIn with a LinkedIn message saying, I'm a researcher, I'm doing a study on this, be very specific, I'm looking for this kind of people. May I ask you a few questions, and would you like to participate? That's easy. That's bread and butter LinkedIn. You don't even have to do 90% of what I've showed you today. Easy. Yeah, just go through it. Your difficulty might be finding the people on LinkedIn you want to specifically speak to. But otherwise, Kayla, 100%. Just go.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Definitely, my pleasure. Cherie, can I hand it over to you? Are you ready to take that over?
Yeah, well, firstly, does anyone have any questions?
Anything else? Scott@madstreet.com. If you want to talk to me directly.
Email Scotty, Scott@madstreet.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the process like I do in a breakout room. But if anyone has a question, please can you just post it on the chat. Scotty, I'm going to ask you to manage the questions now if anyone asks. So can you let me know? All right. So guys, if you need to download the app, it is mymosttrusted.net, or here is URL to the actual page. I'm going to put it in the chat. All right, here we go. Okay, so you click on to download the extension. Once you click on it, it will give you the option to actually add the extension. I'm not going to click because I've already got added. Just to give you an indication, if you not here, you can look at this video, but on this page here, if you scroll down, this is the actual site where you downloaded the extension. There's the mobile version. Scroll down, here's a lot of literature to help you. Here are tutorials, and there's a whole lot that gives you information that's really, really handy. Okay, once you upload it, you will see the extension and sit very nice and cutely and neat in the right-hand corner of the. So you will be logged into the end. It will prompt a few messages saying, is this you, all of that kind of stuff. Sorry, I just want to quickly log out of my free version. Okay, then it will open up. It will be linked to your profile. It will show your picture. It will be then wanting access to try and do everything that Scott showed you until some of the tabs in target and sales funnel section. There's a whole host of other things that you can do here. I would ignore these for now. You can look at those later when you're time to play with the extension. The extension is huge. Everyone in the world has for various reasons. The reason why we are contacting you today to help you with your business a little bit more and get sales, hence target and funnel. When you click on this to activate it now, so you can actually have access to all of these tabs that he was actually going through. You need to activate it. So to get, you click on this link here. it will take you to the store page. So the store page gives you the option to buy a voucher, $20 once off. That allows you having access to all these things that I showed you here. Where's that other one? Yeah, for a month from when you actually add the voucher code. And it's $20. Then, of course, you have the option if you want to buy 12 in a row in a bunch, you save 50%. And the reason most people do this is for a few reasons. They want to save money. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Or if you have a whole lot of other people, Scott was saying, where you have a customer network, you want them to have access to that. So where the vouchers get automatically updated every month is because you are able to dispense the vouchers however you wish. Use them for yourself, hand them over. So most people buy a $20 first off player, and then they decide, oh, you know what? I know I'm going to be doing this for at least a year. And they just buy these. You will get emailed the vouchers via email, and it's the email that you use to log into your LinkedIn profile. And you'll get an email with all the voucher codes. Just keep them somewhere nice and safe. And then once you actually have your extension now opened up for you to be able to use a few things, as Scott was going through, it then starts to become very easy for you to store your URL. If you wish to use a URL, which you can click on here and actually add it. Once you've added it, you click the green button. It allows the functionality of you to be able to go back to your search the whole time. I'm just going to change networks so I can show you. Okay. Sorry, there we go. So the nice thing is if I click the invite button now, which Save Search has, it will actually take me back to my last page. Here it's only 24 because I'm busy searching something specifically. I changed the search specifically here, guys, but generally it'll take you to your last page you were busy searching in. And there are messages that are already set up. The invitation message is already set up. The acceptance message is already set up. Follow-up message is already set up. So I just wanted to show you this very briefly to give you an indication of what starts to open up for you. And then, of course, as you start working, I'm just going to activate my access just so I can show you something else. Oopsie. Don't worry, you won't be able to pick up my password. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to give you an indication and show you how I now manage my pipeline. So I've got my active pipeline, and you can actually see people that I've, been doing stuff with. I can add a reminder. I know who's who in the zoo. I've added them tags. And for me, normally, and here, I actually can change the name. I've been changing this for training. I actually call this my secondary pipeline because some people are asking, how many outreach messages do you send? So normally after about 6 to 8 attempt, my active pipeline I use in the middle because if let's say I decide, okay, well, this guy now, I'm going to move him to my secondary pipeline. And now he is in my secondary pipeline, and I'll come back to him at a later stage. And I'm just going to work on people that I've put into my active pipeline. So I don't want to go into too much detail. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory once you start looking at what it can do. If I want to add someone, let me see if I can add someone. If you have some first degree connections that you want to, start administering as well. So you don't just have to invite brand new people. I can add that person to one of my tabs. And then I can send her a message, and I will send her my follow-up message one. It's called, I don't actually know what it says. Oh, I've made it blank. Let me see if I've got another message I can use. I don't know if I've actually got any messages in here. Okay, sorry. I don't know what's going on now. Okay. That's all handled in our videos and our tutorials. If you need help, please give us a shout. We're happy to maybe jump on a training session with you and discuss that more one-on-one. Any questions I can try and help you with now? I'm just looking at the chat. Oh. Okay, so Scotty, I don't think.
Yeah, that was a good overview, Cherie.
Right.
Zippy's just asked something there. For different funnels, can you create different messages?
Yes. Well, you'll have your different networks that you can do that, or I would rather manage your different funnels through different custom networks, keep them nice and tidy and separate. The beautiful thing is if you do that while you're working in any of these custom networks, it keeps everything that you're doing within that parameter nice and neat and tidy within that. Even when you check for acceptances, even though you may have people accepting from this outreach for this company or this one or this one, it'll only pick up those that are linked to when you were doing work in this one. And when you send the message, it'll only send the message to people specific to this campaign or this business or this network, however you want to label it. So in short, the answer is yes.
Anything else, guys? Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for the great comments, guys. Yeah, feel free to contact us if you need anything. But I just want to say well done. Well done, guys. It's been really, really epic. Awesome. I hope you guys learned a lot from this. I guess you do. And it's available for you. We're here. What can I say? FPP. Follow the process, princess.
I know that doesn't sound work, so please just take it cheap.
It's my humor. Can't help it.
So that was one profile with all the functionality we've seen, yes. So a voucher per extension, and not, let me just share my screen again. So yes, for this extension, this is your own personal one. So you will be able, it's called My Most Trusted. Just ignore these for now. You can actually click here and then rename it to your own one. But if you also, you'll be paying a voucher for this to be active, so you can see all of the functionalities we showed you here. But if you want to add different custom networks for different vertical, whatever, it depends, then this will be seen as another portion to it. So you would have to pay $20 for this one if you want to access this one. But for these, you'll need to be in touch with us because we'll need to show you how to set up in the back end, where if you do want to get a to have access to this kind of extension specifically, I can show up in other people's there's access code they will need to use, which they'll need to put in here to activate the stuff that we'll have to handle once you email.
We'll go through that separately. When we get started to get really technical. For those of you
to
who
answer his
want to
question,
the course.
yeah, to answer his question, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. These are companies though. Okay,
Jump
so
onto
yes.
the reseller course, guys, if you want to if you want to do that. Let me just quickly post that again one last time in the chat before we go. And you guys can, if you want to become a reseller and learn how the advanced stuff works, then here we go. There we go. I just posted into the chat one last time. Otherwise, everybody, phenomenal. Thank you so much. Thanks again for all your help, Cherie. Thank you all for making this workshop absolutely amazing. Your guys will get the replay. We'll send it out. What can I say? Have an incredible and amazing rest of your week.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, everybody.
Stuff.
Thank you
very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.